Exactly 7 years have passed. 7 years ago, the most terrible catastrophe happened, the day of the cataclysm. No one could have even foreseen this. A terrible event called the opening of the dungeon occurred. A large number of people died that day. Everyone ran away in horror and asked for help. But the only thing that no one expected was the death of their parents, who died for nothing. And on that day, when the blink of an eye deprived one of the students, the Hunter Training Center, the most dear, he swore that he would certainly become a hunter and tear monsters to pieces. After that time, he was simply thrown out of the Hunter Training Center. The teacher said not to come to training anymore, but why? What did he do wrong? He asked him to understand that it takes an ordinary cadet several months to awaken his powers and become a true hunter. But it turns out that the real problem is that the classes have been going on for 7 whole years. He did not stop there and called it mediocrity, that if he continues to train, the Hunter Training Center will lose its reputation. Probably the teacher is right. During these 7 years, he could not even raise one single stat. While the renounced guy was sitting in the park and comprehending all this, he heard a conversation between mother and daughter. The little girl has not forgotten her father, who died on that ominous day. She is sure that her dad did not run away anywhere and died, continuing to save people. Mom gave her daughter advice for the future that if she ever faces difficulties, she will look at them with her head held high. She inspired me and made me believe in myself and my strengths. That's right, because he too somehow managed to persevere over the past 7 years. That's why I couldn't give up everything like that. That is, it's better to say that I couldn't give up. At that very second, he ran without looking back to the teacher. He didn't want to see me, he told me to leave, but he was tired of being silent and enduring. He asked for help only once, to help pass the hunter exam. He simply could not give up after going through such a path. He didn't care. He was angry that I couldn't understand why he couldn't understand what they were trying to convey to him. In his opinion, the visit was only because of wasted money. He agreed to return half, but he didn't come for the measly money. I got tired of enduring this. I told him that I didn't need this damn money at all. In response, I received a blow to the face, and he dares to say that it's a greyhound, that you can see everything in my eyes. What if it also had unique characteristics? You shouldn't wish for much. If he had been given even a fraction of the talent, then he wouldn't be here. Oh God, what is happening? What a tower of trials is praising his unshakable will. No, what is this? I don't understand absolutely anything. As long as I can endure this, I can no longer breathe. I'm about to suffocate. Again, this tower of tests. It has selected all the strongest on Earth. So wait, the strongest? In my opinion, I'm going crazy. Maybe this is the second cataclysm. Completely misunderstood, they offer to choose a difficulty level. The higher the difficulty, the higher the reward. This is finally his chance. He doesn't dare miss his only chance so mediocrely after so many years. It's like a time machine. After a while, it will end up on the first floor of the tower and some tests will begin. Whoever I tell, they won't believe me. The main character seriously ended up in the desert, even though he was in the teacher's yard. From now on, this is his weapon or what? Does he look like Arthur from Lilliput? The tower says that if you cope with this test, you will receive a unique characteristic as a reward. It's hard to believe, as if it were a dream. For exactly 7 years he had been working towards this goal, trying to achieve it, and suddenly he would be able to achieve it in such a strange and unusual way. You can go crazy because this is truly a real jackpot in the flesh. What is it? He just wanted to take the sword, but suddenly an unexpected storm of dust and sand appears behind him. You are serious now. This is a training mission with such a thug. I'm afraid to imagine what will happen in a real battle. Yes, you are completely beaten down. You will have to run from this weirdo for 10 whole minutes. Well, I don't understand why they gave the fine and what it even means. This is complete madness. If you run like this, will you be able to break away from the chase? Although the golem looks slow, due to its height, it moves faster than anyone could imagine. With the main character's endurance, he won't be able to run through the desert for another 9 minutes. There are only 2 options here. You need to fight with a sword in your hands to survive. Either running away to face death or fighting to face it. Even I can't imagine how to defeat this creature. Will he die an insignificant death if he continues to run away like this, not accepting anything new? For 7 years, all he did was challenge the hunter exam. If running away is not an option, then he should try to find the answer in his theoretical knowledge. Monsters such as golems stop moving when their core is destroyed. But the core is located in a place inaccessible to humans. In this case, I will have to create conditions under which I could get to this sand golem. It turned out, there is a chance that needs to be taken advantage of immediately. Yep, everything went according to plan, just as he had foreseen. Wait, what is this? It turns out the core is much stronger than we could have imagined. There is only one option left, to strike again with a crushing blow. Nothing came of it. The golem was able to grab it. He believes that our hero does not understand where his place is, continuing to stubbornly stand his ground. like the most stubborn idiot. Enough with this. Stop putting up with it. Shut up, all of you freaks. It worked. The tower says that it was possible to destroy the core of the sand golem, despite the fact that there were still 7 whole minutes left. I managed to finish it in 3 minutes. I can't believe it. Is all this really happening in reality? It turns out that he killed the golem, but he just can't believe that a guy like him, whom even his teacher expelled, could cope with such a giant from another universe. Ah ha 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 ha, yes, he did it all. Survived, finished off this scum, now got to the first floor. But what kind of floors are these and how many of them there are? Nobody could even think of such a reward. Unlocking a unique characteristic, 1,000 points, accelerated regeneration, and even a bonus of 500 points. Emotions are off the charts. For literally 7 whole years, he exerted all his strength, incredible strength, mixing blood with sweat, receiving only ridicule and contempt in response. And now he stands here, having received a unique characteristic, necromancy. Finally, our hero will be able to become a hunter, but only if he can reach the end and stay alive. Without having time to digest everything that happened, a new unprecedented miracle appears. A black fog appeared, forming in the place where the golem died. As soon as you touch this black fog, you are offered to absorb the spirit of a sand golem. He couldn't refuse and chose yes, absorbing the golem's spirit. This can't be true. His skill has increased by exactly 7%. The tower says that the number of souls in possession is 1 in 5, but what could this mean? You can feel the spirit of a sand golem as if it is inside, but when you absorb a ghost, how is it stored? What to do with it next? Now his characteristics have become even better. His strength has increased by 3, his endurance has increased by 2. This is real power, the surge of which not everyone will feel. All the power and energy is felt. The stats have really gone up, stats that have never risen in all 7 years of hard training. But how can this be? Everything happens very quickly and spontaneously. Just yesterday, you were living an ordinary life, and today, you are one of the best in the world. If the hero manages to survive and return from another world, then he will become a real hunter, unlike everyone else, unique and invincible. After the test with the sand golem, the tower moves to the waiting room. Of course, there will be no other solution than to go to this room. The injuries are more serious than one could imagine, but where did this flight come from? Abrupt and incomprehensible, as if he died when landing on the floor. Well, one could believe in everything up to this moment, where all the injuries had disappeared. There was not a single scratch, something like the restoration of the body after passing the test, like a hero cat with 9 lives. By the way, how can there be only one single bed in such a huge room? Well, although you need to be grateful for this, that there is a bed here to rest after such an unthinkable ordeal. So you lie on your bed and lie there, and then what to do in the future? Is it possible to get out of the tower, or is it just a trap? From now on, you can use 5 commands: information, store, community, inventory, test. When you say one of them, it is activated. 5 teams for sure. Right now, we just need to think about how to survive. Oh no, as expected, there are still a number of so-called tests ahead. The next test will be the second one, which will begin in 23 hours, 21 minutes. My God, this is the only thing that was missing. The tower added to some community. There is complete chaos in the chats, especially if you read more closely. You will notice that not only hunters, but also ordinary people have been brought into this world. And what is this? It turns out that administrators sit in this chat and monitor all messages. Yes, this message is dedicated specifically to the main character. Perhaps the message will also describe how you can get out of this world as quickly as possible. You need to read carefully, concentrate, and remember everything that is said. The administrator talks about some kind of magic glasses, sunglasses or something. Stop. Now it's no longer funny. Without these points, you can't get even a drop of water in battle. These points can only be earned in the test itself. It turns out there is no other choice but to challenge not only the tower, but also yourself, to take part in the test for these damn glasses. I wish I could go home soon, because there the hero will feel protected, being a true hunter, selected by the Almighty. The hunters who were drawn here have lost all their stats due to the tower, but they should master the skills they once learned much faster. So much better, thanks to the healing effect of the waiting room, you can devote enough time to training and preparing for the next test. It may be surprisingly easy. By the way, a detail that was hard not to notice is why the waiting room does not relieve the feeling of hunger either. Having purchased all sorts of things from your inventory, you end up with only 40 points left. There is less and less time left before the test, and all thoughts are about one thing, whether it is possible to survive again or not. No, it would be more correct to say that the hero will definitely remain safe and sound and pass this next test. It's time to start the second test, which starts right now. And why exactly the forest? Does it come after the desert? There will be a battle against mutant trees? You've almost guessed it. You'll have to kill the orc leader within the allotted time to complete the test. What the hell are orcs? There's a whole settlement of them here. The future hunter will have to enter their place, infested with orcs, and then kill their leader. In ordinary dungeons, if a tribe has a sentry, then it should be assumed that there is also a huntsman. This is a professional hunter. How to kill the head of the orcs if you are not sure of defeating at least one huntsman, not to mention this entire crowd. To defeat the orcs, the hunters must at least form a group, so the hero's chances of victory are close to zero. First, you need to step back and think about the strategy, and then... Wait, there seems to be one way to overcome the test. Great, just great, enough logs for the torch have been collected. The huntsman must go hunting in the morning and return home by sunset, so there is plenty of time. To win, there is one single means for which the hero collected logs that will help break through the numerical superiority, which is the biggest obstacle to the goal of this test, and this is fire. According to the Hunters Association, the orc sentry does not stand guard all the time, but returns to the village during meals or rest breaks. When the fire completely engulfs the village, you will have to worry about running into orc rangers returning from the hunt. So before the flames consume the settlement, you will need to catch at least 2 orc workers. After the death of the orc worker, the tower activated the unique characteristic of necromancy. After absorbing the spirit of the orc, skill increased by 9%. This is what the hero of the second test had been waiting for so long. Oh damn, this is a sentry, fuck you, not Chwick. The next absorption will be risky to weaken your vigilance. But with this kill, your stamina has increased. You don't have to be afraid of the next sentry. On the way, there are 3 orc workers and 1 sentry, adding the old leader, making a total of 5. By absorbing the sentry's spirit, the workers pose no threat. The sentry moved away from the leader. Apparently, he decided to refuse to perform the duties of his true bodyguard. In fact, he is the last obstacle to the leader. The hero receives the achievement, the one who withstood the flames, creating the skill of resistance to burns. As soon as the leader was brought to a state of defeat, a small child ran out, but in vain the main character trusted him. You monsters are completely different from people. What was the hero thinking when he was going to trust the orc? Maybe because he is a child. Even if there is a possibility that the orcs will become ghosts following on the heels of the main character, he still will not stop and destroy them all. The second test was also completed. As if it were easier than the first, the shield became unusable, but it was thanks to it that the hero was able to survive. The number of applicants was reduced by almost half hard poof, even though defeat was on the brink. But now, with your head held high, you can rest easy. Oh yes, after all, hopes were not in vain. It turns out there is a way to return to Earth. If the hero returns to Earth with only the skills he has now, then by improving his characteristics, he will be able to become an A-rank hunter. On Earth, such abilities would be called a jackpot. But it's too early to think about this, because he only somehow, with grief, got through the 2nd floor, and to the 8th is like to the moon, on which a large-scale expansion of the system will be carried out. You need to absorb 5 spirits that fought at the cost of your own life. Strength overwhelms your entire body, as if you are beyond human capabilities, which previously could only be read in a book. Due to rapid growth, the body is not yet accustomed to new sensations. Inventory now is the perfect time to redeem rewards from previous challenges. The hero hopes that he can get used to this equipment before the next test, and become so strong that no one can catch up with him. Here comes a new transition to a new test of the 3rd floor, the theme of the duel test. The cave, seriously, although there is no time to think, in 10 seconds a dark guard will appear. Like the sand golem, it can appear from anywhere, so you need to be on your guard. To pass this test, you have to kill the dark guard, your double. If the hero had not reacted in time, his spine would have been broken in half. Wait a minute, his pose. This creature is now imitating the hero's movements. Well, you need to clash with him in battle to test one theory. The first blow went perfectly without feeling any resistance. If this demon really repeats all the movements and attacks, you will have to use the weaknesses of yourself to spin him around. What was it now? As if the blow had been repelled. In perfect timing, the tower activated a new characteristic, the exclusive Assassin's Cloak effect. Time, only 1 minute left. If the fight drags on, the hero will be in danger. You need to deal with him within 1 minute. It worked out a little more. The main thing is to meet the set time. It's not over yet. Even though the blow was critical, you shouldn't rejoice at the victory ahead of time. He doesn't move. Even though that creature has a good healing skill, it still takes some time to recover. There is no time to hesitate. You need to kill the Dark Guard right now. But how can you do this without a sword? Yes, it's possible that this is real madness, what the hero is doing, but there is no other option. It's better to pull such a crazy trick than to die, because either he or the guard will survive. All that remained from the guard were screams, moans, and screams. The hero finally finished off this creature, but did he do it in time? After the victory, the tower congratulated him for overcoming the third floor of the test tower. The winner was healed of all injuries and defects, and now we can expect the fourth floor. Impeccable strength and healing. Perhaps there is nothing better on the entire planet, although only 3 floors of tests out of 8 have been completed. The spirit of the double, which the hero acquired in the cave, is now in him after passing the 3rd floor test. The consistency of this spirit is so dense that it cannot be compared with the monsters it previously absorbed. From now on, from this moment on, the hero can absorb not only souls but also skills. Exactly the same way that accelerated regeneration works, only after having been on the brink of death several times. In his entire life, the thought that he would be given such a breathtaking, unique characteristic had never crossed his mind. Of course, you shouldn't lose sight of the fact that the description clearly states about the likelihood of acquisition. You just have to test your luck, and that's it. This is already the 3rd return to the waiting room, so the atmosphere seems so familiar, as if you were at home. Oh, there is information here about the next combined test, which means that you can not just stupidly rest, but start preparing. So far, nothing is clear. Whether there will be a joint test and a team of players will be formed. And since we are talking about competition between hunters, wouldn't this mean killing each other? It turns out that in the next test, there is a possibility that the hero will have to kill a person. The 4th floor test has begun. There are 24 hours left until the end. The condition for successfully passing the joint test is to defeat the Goblin King within the allotted time, and the condition for failure is the destruction of all applicants selected for the team. The penalty is death. Now is exactly that awkward moment in an unfamiliar company of people, especially since the hero has recently crossed paths only with monsters and their souls. One of the team members suggested introducing themselves to each other, since they had become one. The girl, Lee Ha-young, specializes in providing support to the team and is also an Yi-rank hunter on the outside. Guy Lee Sung-hoon specializes in close combat and is an outside D-rank hunter. And here is our main character, who has not revealed his name for so long, Han Song-yoon, a specialist in close combat. But on the outside, I am not a hunter. I am just undergoing a training course. It turns out that you are just a cadet, but I also found a fighter. However, Khan is confident that he fights well and can cope with the role assigned to him, especially since he has already passed 3 tests alone, showing good results. Sung-hoon warns in advance that if he decides that Han is only a pest of the team, he will kill him at that very second. Ahahaha, yes, the hero has long been accustomed to this kind of views. Now this red-haired guy is calling the cadet names, asking him to stay behind him and take care of the little ones. Not only does he infuriate the main character, but he can also say with confidence that his abilities are quite enough to more than return to Khan all the words he said, because in the Tower of Tests, everything is decided by skills. How can goblins move in such a battle formation? At first, the redhead appears so that Khan does not do anything and stands peacefully behind him. But now he supposedly is not going to fight. At the same time, without even looking in his direction, there are no words, only emotions. Liha cast a spell, but it will be completed any minute. And in response, they only ask not to chatter and cook some kind of buff, preferably as soon as possible. It didn't take long for Khan to rush to help the redhead, even though the girl didn't want to let him go. But if he left, then who will cover her from the rear? Wait, what is this? Where are there so many dead bodies? Because some time ago they were not there. Oh, damn, another moment, and the guy will fall. And before his death, he chooses only to complain about why he was so unlucky to be on the same team as the cadets. He threw all his problems onto the main character due to his lack of experience. This is a cadet, because in the presentation, there was nothing about his skills. Now the turn of the banter came to the main character. He asks Lee Sung-hoon to stand aside. How amazing it sounded, it gave me goosebumps. It's better not to get in his way. After killing an incredible number of goblins, Khan receives the achievement, Goblin Hunter. What will smart guy Lee Sung-hoon say to this now, whether his impression of Han has changed or not? The black haze of his unique characteristic remains invisible to the team's eyes, so he can absorb souls as much as he wants without any problems. By absorbing one of the Goblin Guardian's skills, the effect is unlocked. The overall field of view is expanded, and it becomes easier to notice approaching subjects. So this is what it's like to see the world from a wider angle. You can celebrate your victory, another hit from the jackpot, but the redhead is still itching. He believes that luck is on his side only because Khan was opposed by weak goblins. But be that as it may, he praised him for his efforts. From that moment on, Khan decided that he would lead the operation, moving in the vanguard, thinking that this formation would bring the greatest benefit to the team. After which he asked the Red Greyhound if there were any objections to him. To which the answer was clear. He became a pawn of the protagonist, asking for instructions, although he had recently grinned at him. When all the instructions were announced, Miss Lee Ha-young resumed her search for the target. Although the goblins attacked at different intervals, everything was too quiet now. At that moment, Khan rushed somewhere. The team was also confused and did not understand anything. It became clear that most likely other applicants had already been here. It's crazy that they have rocket turbines instead of legs. However, after touching the corpses, Khan felt warm, which means they were recently killed. If they hurry, they will be able to catch up with their competitors. If the other team wins, our team who fails the test will face death. I'm already sick of hunting goblins. This should be the last fight before going to the boss. Stupid, ruthless creatures, they really think that I can escape. An unknown team, new faces, but the character who killed the goblin is named Lee Cheyenne Henan. Everything is clear with him. Either he caught a star and considers himself a cool hunter, or he is an egoist, or both. And here is the main door, the door that leads to the boss. They want to finish all this as quickly as possible and have a good rest. But why did this team get to the door so quickly? What's the catch? After opening the doors, the tower announced, the boss battle will begin until only one team of 2 remains, which means the second team is in place. But who are the opponents? On the other side was our team, which still managed to catch up with the contenders. The leader of the rivals was wildly shocked by what he saw. He wanted to quickly deal with it and go to rest. But Khan ruined everything for him. Khan took full responsibility only on himself. Firstly, he decided to fight alone. Secondly, he asked Miss Lee Ha-young to provide him with a buff that increases agility. She can provide all other buffs to Lee Sung-hoon. In response to the order, a compliment came from the miss. She was shocked that she had the opportunity to see with her own eyes that Mr. Han was so strong. But perhaps people will be worse than all these monsters combined. Khan understood everything and warned that if he found himself in danger, he would immediately give a signal. At the same moment, Khan went to his inevitable death because the chances of survival when fighting 1 against 3 are small. The hero was convinced that he had already surpassed the level of skill of the average hunter. There was nothing more to lose. In addition to all this, he killed more than 30 goblins. The opponents tensed up and prepared for battle. But now, the current Khan is strong enough to cope with this test. Li Ji-hoo was ordered to use his shield at full power immediately. For the Khan, this did not become a great problem. Li Ji flew away with his sword like a cork from a bottle. It's strange that his skills are inferior, but oddly enough, he easily repels all attacks. In this case, you should act more decisively. The main character caught the enemy in a mistake and is ready to deliver a critical blow. He did not expect that Han was able to see the trace of the blade aimed at him. Khan has never been so strong. The enemy doesn't understand what to do in such a situation. In a word, it's bad. The tower congratulated you on completing a special task. For completing the 4th floor, additional bonuses will be awarded. This is what you need to try for. From seeing the state of her leader, the miss believed that he was in shock because of the murder he had just committed. She thought that he was a strong and cold-blooded person. Without a break, he immediately offers to go and fight the boss. The whole team was impeccably in favor of finally being able to help in battle. The first blow was again for the Khan. He jumped on his back and caused a number of numerous wounds. The target of the challenge, the Goblin King, is destroyed. From the shock of everything that was happening, the redhead did not hesitate and quickly left his team. Khan said goodbye to Miss, hoping that she would arrive safe and sound. But she interrupted him and said that perhaps her words were inappropriate, but she believed that Khan only did what should have been done. To which he replied, in any case, someone needed to kill the enemy team. If the Miss refused, then he would have entered the battle. After Miss's words were spoken, my soul became much lighter. Well, it turns out that you can still add each other as friends. Since right now the applicant Lee Ha-young has sent a friend request, this is definitely not the end of their communication. This is just the beginning. It could be said that the 4th floor test was completely passed through the strength of the protagonist, so Miss Lee felt as if she was indebted to him, and this made her feel a little uneasy. She finally said that when Han returns to Earth, let him find Lee Han-yong from the White Guild. Left alone, you need to make a decision. To absorb a human soul or not. When the hero was convinced that he was capable of something similar, he postponed the absorption process until later, as he felt that he was about to cross an irreversible line. The decision has been made, it will be too late to change it. Although he has no intentions of killing people in order to become stronger, in a situation where there is no right to choose, he is ready to kill. After his very first desire to become a hunter, new ambitions began to sprout in his soul. The Tower of Tests gave an opportunity, and Khan must take full advantage of it, All he has to do is climb to the top of the tower of tests. The entrance to the waiting room on the 5th floor is completed. The expansion of the system begins. A ranking system for applicants is created, and test results are summed up. It turns out that you can choose your own nickname, the so-called nickname. His nickname was changed to a hunter. Very original. Wow, what statistics? Everything is clear at a glance. Maybe Khan is somewhere on this list. Yes, there is on this list. His ranking is much higher than he might have thought, because applicants who are in the top 50 will be designated as pioneers. The one who received the pioneer status will receive benefits on the 8th floor. If you continue to maintain pioneer status up to the 8th floor, you can receive the halo privilege. It's like providing a skill or something. But you can find out when the right time comes. At this time, 4 out of 5 souls had already accumulated in the possession. Now the hero feels that he has finally crossed the boundaries of human capabilities. Using the return stone, you can leave the test tower for 3 days and return to your original location. It's worth checking to see if he can move with his equipment. The long-awaited moment has come when Khan will return to Earth for 3 days. The process of absorption begins. The final destination, Earth. Challenger Han Song has returned safely to his original place of residence, and in 3 days he will be moved back to the testing tower. Seeing his homeroom, such familiar walls, the hero did not believe in his return. First, you need to get a good night's sleep. Compared to the bed in the waiting room, his sleeping place is a real heavenly pleasure. You'll definitely get some sleep. What an unbearable stench. Oh, you should still wash yourself first. It was worth checking just in case. It turns out that you can actually take objects from the testing tower with you to the ground. This means that other applicants can also take their items to the ground with them. You need to act as quickly as possible. Soon, the number of people returning to Earth will increase, which will lead to a sharp increase in the number of items and a drop in the prices of hunters' equipment in the market. We urgently need to get rid of the equipment as quickly as possible. The only problem is that only those who have hunter qualifications can sell items on the market. Initially, the hero only planned to apply for the hunter exam and pass it during his next return. But it turns out, Han has a lot more to do than he thought. He called the instructor and asked if he remembered him. In response, the only thing heard is about money. Why not apply for a refund online? Khan replied that they may not return the tuition fees he paid. In return, the instructor voiced one single request. If the hero is going to ask again for permission to resume training, then he will be refused. Apparently, Khan forgot how his intermediate certification went. He was given the rank F with a big stretch. Still, it was much easier to persuade the instructor than it seemed. They made a deal that today they would take the hunter qualification exam. In proportion to Khan's progress, his body has changed greatly for the better. Now is not the time to admire yourself. It's time to rush to the exam. This is ordinary, everyday life, which the hero missed so much. He is even pleased to see his neighbors passing by. She was surprised because she didn't remember him being that tall. Unfortunately, not a single taxi stops at this moment. Running to your destination is also a good option. You will be there soon. The most important thing is not to be late. Han had been through so much in the past few days that it felt like at least 100 years had passed. Examiner Kim and-hoo, who will evaluate Han's test. Everything is clear. Khan's coach is a corrupt scum. He persuaded the examiner to have Khan expelled as quickly as possible. Monsters with the worst compatibility with the examinee were prepared for testing. Previously, Khan always chose difficulty 1 and still lost to the little goblin every time because he was weak. Everyone was in frantic shock that the future hunter chose the 10th difficulty. The exam begins, the hunt for the fiery bird. They think Khan is a piece of trash who will never pass the test because they tweaked his weapon a little, thereby ruining it. But the reasons why the coach behaved this way became clear. Having finally become a hunter, it seemed to him that he was the best. But gradually, the gap with his peers began to widen. And in the end, he gave up trying to fill this gap. The world of hunters is based on innate talent and stopped trying to change anything. People are forced to give up when they feel a wall in front of them that they cannot overcome. And this is not only what the coach does, but everyone else. Therefore, in his opinion, it was time for Han Song-yoon to give up too. Even if it is a low-level weapon, there is no way it will crack so easily. With his stupid grin, the trainer looks at Khan and thinks what he will do now with the broken sword. Well, the hero is even glad that everything turned out this way. This is an ideal situation to test the skills that he managed to acquire on the 4th floor of the test tower. Wow, this is even much better than the increase in movement speed when using the assassin's cloak buff. As expected, the sword is too short. What Khan is doing right now does not suit the instructor, because this is not all happening according to his plan. The exam is completed. Now Khan definitely has the qualifications of a true hunter. Ah ha ha ha. The hero also grins at him. He didn't calculate that the slab would be able to reach them. Khan receives not only a certificate, but also congratulations on successfully passing the exam. Since he is registered with the Hunters Association, he can now officially engage in hunting activities. The instructor cannot calm down and demands an explanation from the examiner as to how this could have happened. The examiner believed that the hero would fail within 10 seconds, but in the end, he, on the contrary, coped with the test during this time. But he himself was at a loss and did everything in his power, because based on the stated data, Cadet Han Song-yun would never have been able to pass this test. When Khan came in, he specifically asked about the instructor's condition, because he knew that he was angry. Now the hero has the opportunity to call him trash, because his rank is much higher than the rank of the instructor. This infuriated him so much that he lost control of Khan. Contrary to expectations, he easily fell for the provocation, thereby showing his weakness. A direct blow to the solar plexus, and the instructor's ardor was taken away as if by hand. Khan has never acted within such a framework of self-defense. He can give free rein to his emotions and take revenge for all the ridicule and bullying. And this is the answer to all his aggressive actions. From that moment on, Han was offered to work as a direct employee of the Hunters Association, receiving a salary of 1 billion won. But the hunter made a truly right decision. It is not in his rules to make a deal with someone in whom there is not a drop of trust, because not so long ago, he wanted to fail the exam. There are rumors that recently a mysterious phenomenon called the Tower of Tests has been observed among hunters. Everyone finally learned about the test tower. Khan got rid of the equipment at a very good price. After all, these 3 days were not wasted, but were spent very productively. Well, it seems that our time on Earth is coming to an end. After a few seconds, he will be moved to the challenge tower. Now the hero is again looking forward to his further progress, after an amazing time on Earth. Upon his return, he will again have a lot to do. So Khan returned home. Deep down, he still missed this place. As expected, you can freely move items between the tower and the real world. I left the chest with money and the stone in my inventory for now. It all looks like a game, not real life. Now it's worth stretching your body a little, and without wasting time, you need to move forward to overcome the 5th floor. The tower announced the creation of the Eye of Truth skill A. What could this mean? Using mana, you can obtain information about the target you are observing, and also determine whether the opponent's words are true. This means that, in addition to receiving data about the object of observation, Khan is also able to distinguish between lies and truth, like a lie detector. This is a pure jackpot. That's how lucky it was. Although the hunter paid a lot of points for the sword, he really liked its options. The hope remains that it will definitely be useful with such and such options, a 10% chance of applying the lightning effect when hitting an enemy. So, after so much time, the very moment has come when we will have to fight and go through floors again. The 5th floor is already on the way. The theme of this test is hunting. The time is given 24 hours, the whole day. The condition for successfully passing the test is defeating the werewolf boss in the Wolf Gorge, and the condition for failing the test is death or the expiration of the allotted time. Before Khan had time to digest all the information presented by the testing tower, countless wolves rushed at him. Oh, what kind of garbage is this? Why are they somehow frail? Even the sand golem on the 1st floor resisted. Holy crap, it's not even that Khan should take back his words, but that includes me. It was in vain that they began to stutter about the golem. These dogs are 10 times larger than that very golem. Yes, the Tower of Challenges never disappoints. It loves to spontaneously present such gifts. Now Khan is even having fun going through the tests. Wow, he manages to have fun on the 5th floor. But what happens on the 8th? Let's start drinking tea with the monsters. The hero himself believes that he seems to have started to go crazy little by little. The accelerated regeneration skill has been increased to rank D, and the mastery of the hunter dagger skill E has reached 100%. This dagger, which the hunter received on the 3rd floor, has also almost reached its height limit. You need to gain a new fencing skill. Khan asks the wolves to attack him, lest his games end in grief and defeat. He had already hunted 3 times, and it turns out that the sword lightning effect appears even less often than one might think. Great. The mastery of the unique characteristic is also growing steadily, up to 16%. If Khan gives 100%, he will be able to achieve an increase in his unique characteristic. However, the main character has almost reached the middle of the Wolf Gorge. What the hell is this? There was a conflict in the pack, or how to understand this? Could they all have gnawed at each other's throats at once? No, judging by the clear cut, the blow was struck with a sword, and the traces left nearby only confirmed Khan's assumption. Apparently, he was not the only one in this location. It's time to activate the Eye of Truth, the Aura Trace. This is the trace left after a rather skillful aura carefully split the wall. Aura, is it one of the skills or not? There are too many nuances that just don't fit into your head, and you feel a little uneasy. It's somewhere nearby, you need to hurry. The roar comes from the place. What the fuck is going on? What he saw through Khan's eyes brought him into shock, because he had never seen anything like this before. Not only in life, but here, in the Tower of Trials. The werewolf boss, which is a condition for passing the test, has died. The reason is being determined. Please wait. What you're saying is that the target of the challenge, the werewolf boss, is dead. Hooray, finally the analysis is completed, and now Khan finds out the real cause of the boss's death. In Han Sung-yoon's challenger's test, someone's intrusion was detected. But how could this even happen? The goal of the challenge has been changed. You need to kill the challenger from another dimension who invaded your trial and killed your target to complete the objectives. Invasion, you say he came from another dimension. It all sounds very strange. Does this mean that the Tower of Trials exists simultaneously in several dimensions besides the Earth? Before Khan had time to wonder how he ended up here in the first place, this horned scum asked if he was alive, not expecting something like that from an applicant from an underdeveloped world. Everything is clear. Khan is contagious, and now this weirdo has gone crazy. The hunter could not even imagine that a situation would arise where the target of his test would be killed by an intruder from another dimension. However, he was very lucky that the test did not fail. I wonder if this stranger fights as boldly as he communicates or not, since he considers Khan so frightened that he is unable to utter a word. And so the weirdo came to an agreement. He thought you could deal with Khan so easily, but that was not the case. Something clearly went wrong. Khan planned to cut him in half, but not everything went so smoothly. The first moment in such a long time that Khan missed a blow and was thrown back. But I definitely didn't expect this. It's good that he has increased regeneration and will be able to recover quickly. The boss didn't expect the hero to be able to block the aura. If he allowed himself to be broken in half, he would be met with quick and painless pain. The system recognized the enemy as an intruder. What the hell? Khan had never heard of anything like this. Why did something like this happen in his test? The enemy asks not to hold a grudge. The tower was originally such an unpredictable place, that's it. We need to leave long conversations. It's time to know the honor. Khan left him and asked him to tell him in more detail what floor implementation is. Before the story itself, he said that the main character was already dead anyway. Among the system options, expansion of which occurs from the 8th floor, there is the so-called floor implementation. If you buy a ticket for floor penetration in a store, you can get the opportunity to interfere with other people's tests. The enemy also called this place an underdeveloped world. It turns out that he came from another dimension. At the moment of asking whether he was from this dimension, Khan instantly activated the Eye of Truth, and his opponent's words turned out to be true. The hero committed an extremely unpleasant action. How can he even judge the words and actions of the enemy? Well, the hunter can't do anything about it. He had such a great desire. The opponent is at a loss as to how this barbaric brat dares to still be insolent. In total, Khan obtained information on everything, so he can now share one fun fact with his opponent. Thanks to the skill of pain tolerance, the injured hand practically does not bother me. In other words, the hero did not hold it because he was in unbearable pain. If he had let go of his hand, it would have automatically healed under the effect of the skill, but it seemed to him that the enemy would only be able to share information if Khan looked pathetic. Activating the accelerated regeneration skill, it turns out that the hunter was testing his healing skills. Well, be that as it may, if Khan's power lies only in what he demonstrated earlier, then it will be impossible to avoid death. But how can this be? Strength should increase rapidly. You can increase your performance by using existing spirits. Strength increased by 2, agility increased by 3, endurance increased by 3, exchange increased by 5, durability increased by 7. The enemy was surprised that Khan, in addition to healing, had a unique characteristic. The exclusive effect of the assassin's cloak is activated. The movement speed is increased by 15%, but the remaining time is 1 minute. The alien cannot understand why his challenger from the 5th floor has so many skills. Aura is a high-level skill, so a hit like this can cause serious damage, however. Han is definitely ahead of him in terms of stats. Therefore, the hunter can easily avoid critical hits, but the real catch lies in the armor. Yes, the same catch lies precisely in the armor. This is high-level equipment that cannot be destroyed with Khan's current abilities. However, if you continue to endlessly strike blow after blow, yes, this is what we need now. A Thunder Sword, a 10% chance to apply a lightning effect when hit in the head. If the armor had a lightning rod function, it would have added trouble, but fortunately, the risk turned out to be justified. The opponent believes that he should have won initially, because in front of him is a challenger from the 5th floor, where such a huge amount of skill comes from. he is confused. The opponent is very stupid if he relies entirely on his one single high-level skill in armor. Now it's time to meet your end. But the stranger stopped the hunter. He is ready to give answers to all the questions that interest Khan. There is no need for this for Khan, so he finished with the torment of the enemy. Each time it becomes easier and easier for him to kill. But if the hunter felt awkward while piercing someone else's flesh, then this would be a much more serious problem. The challenge tower congratulates you on completing the 5th floor of challenges. Khan absorbed the spirit of Cade Adrax, that was his name. His skill increased to 15%. Phew, I almost blew the opportunity to absorb the soul. It turns out that if you die in another dimension, you will simply dissipate like a mirage. But why isn't the reward message coming? What the hell? Absolutely crap. The tower says that the difficulty level and the reward are not the same. The reward content has been completely revised. As a reward for the breakthrough, the skill received 3 absolutes A, 7,500 points. As an additional bonus reward, another 3,500 points. And instead of the promised reward of rank C, they gave a reward of rank A. The invading knight must have been strong enough since the system considered that the difficulty of the test Khan passed was much higher than originally stated. However, the hunter still cannot believe that he will be able to hit the jackpot in the form of an A-rank skill. The 6th floor waiting room has been entered. Debuffs and injuries have been healed. Information about the hero will be displayed on the test summary board. One way or another, Khan is faced with an invasion from another dimension. The Tower of Trials really knows how to take him by surprise. He tried to save the tickets as much as possible without sending questions to the 8th floor, but he would have to use them right now. Khan will ask about what floor invasion is, and whether it is possible to know in advance about the upcoming invasion. Wow, the answer was delivered so quickly, at least they read what was written there. Floor penetration is a system that allows you to enter the test of applicants with whom there is a gap of no more than 10 floors. However, you can only invade personal tests. Penetration into special and combined tests is impossible. This is a system that is expanding from the 8th floor and currently not available. Oh, it's like breaking a ladder for someone climbing. This information is not available on the current floor, since the request was only half satisfied. The ticket to submit the question will not be used. Well, the ticket for sending questions is also not omnipotent. However, Khan is glad that his ticket remained safe and sound. Now it's time to use the items that the hero grabbed with him from the ground. You can use the Kroken Magic Tower Restoration Chest to restore the Arcane Hunter's shield. The remaining amount of use, one of the restoration chests of the Kroken Magic Tower has been exhausted, but now the shield is intact and beautiful. To be honest, buying a Purity Stone may seem like a waste of money, but Han believes that for the feeling of freshness and vigor that appears after bathing, it's not at all a shame to pay a couple of thousand won. After all, he deserved it, to be honest. The 6th floor challenge will begin in 1 hour 12 minutes. There is still time. It is worth checking the board summarizing the results of the challenges and taking a look at the community. What? How can this be? Seriously, 3rd place? Khan has already risen quite high from 16th place. Does it bring him closer to the possibility of receiving first mover advantages? Well, first he will have to go all the way to the 8th floor to find out about those advantages. Oh my god, what's going on with the chat? There's more violence and language here than in any battle. What's wrong with all of them? In front of Khan, there is literally complete chaos and confusion. What the hell happened here? The mental resistance skills that are so heavily marketed today have the attractive effect of reducing some of the mental shock, but at the same time, they are a double-edged sword. One user constantly incites everyone to fight each other. This is the same challenger who spoiled the atmosphere in the 4th floor community chat. Will it really be the same this time? First, you should remember this nickname well, Sudi Gong Yu. The test of the 6th floor begins. The theme of this test is occupation. The time is given surprisingly significantly, only 50 minutes. Within the allotted time, you need to capture one of the strong points in any direction. The reward will be a random chest. This time it's the sea. We hope in the future there will be no location underwater. The selection of applicants is completed. The tower has given the command to work together with their teammates to pass the test. But there is a nuance where I actually say Khan's team, except for Khan himself. Why don't his team members show up for so long? Did they fall asleep there or something? This is an attack of one's own team, what this unknown fool is doing. In response, he only got rude to Khan, calling him a bastard. If Khan had entered the community, he would also have already known what was what. Murder is the easiest way to get achievements. That is, he wants to say that it is much more important for him to earn as many achievements as possible, and at whose expense this is done is no longer important. Khan's hypocrisy goes beyond all limits in his opinion. But before the main character begins to play the role of a conscientious and honest person, it is better to look around. All around there were deaths. Teammates killed each other, asking for help. But all the blame lay only on the tower. People were maddened by achievements. They were ready to rip each other's throats out for them. Die quickly and give the opportunity to earn an achievement. With such words, murders occur. Now Khan understood everything, not understanding at what cost they were doing this. But there are also adequate people who are of the same opinion and consider what is happening around them to be a vile betrayal in relation not only to each other, but also to themselves. You can't trust anyone here. Having gained trust, he immediately plunged the sword into the chest. Ha! Even without really figuring out what's what, you shake the enemy's hand without a drop of doubt. And how, I wonder, is he going to draw his sword now? The cold-blooded killer has gained the vile killer achievement, increasing his toughness by 1. Khan's comrade just can't calm down. Everyone wants to convince him of his desire to get the achievement, because everyone wants this deep down. He believed that the main character was so stupid that he would allow himself to be killed so senselessly. How naive he was, or rather he was naive. Khan received the traitor achievement, increasing his strength by 1. Weak, a special test, a combined test, only loud words for the chickens to laugh at. But at the same time, this test can be safely called a kind of event, especially for Khan. Here he will be able to improve the mastery of his unique characteristics, and if he is lucky, he will also be able to add a couple of new skills to his piggy bank. However, he is not going to specifically attack to kill other challengers. He will simply fulfill the conditions of the test and fight those who decide to attack Khan first. One of the applicants activated the Iron Dome, considering this test to be ideal for him, who had studied water magic. He probably thought so until Khan rushed up to his feet. As long as this magician is protected, he dares the right to grin at the hunter. This dome is impenetrable iron. I wonder what he will answer to this. Who is the bastard here now? Although Khan's actions were a little cruel, what matters is the end result. The rest of the applicants, horrified by what they saw, decided to move along a different path, considering Khan a ranker. In simple words, this is a top player, or simply a person occupying a high position somewhere. In this case, Khan is in 3rd place in the list of results. With his actions, Khan can instill fear in his rivals, to be honest. Although he wants to earn achievements, as many achievements as possible, he still doesn't want to do unnecessary killings. Don't forget about karma. The main character has captured a strong point. The capture will be interrupted if someone from the other team is on the territory. It turns out that you only need to hold out for another 9 minutes 59 seconds. High-ranking applicants who immediately confirmed on the 5th floor to participate in the next trial without using the Hearthstones should already be outside the 6th floor. But most of the people around Han are low-ranking applicants, so perhaps breaking through the trial will be easier than him thought. The test on the 6th floor makes you think about many things. Distrust of others. This is the reality of a low-ranking applicant. Darkness and gloom, nurtured by the Tower of Trials. But false sympathy is real hypocrisy. Even if Khan managed to keep his rivals away from him by turning their attention to another stronghold, in the end, someone would die anyway. A message from the tower that the enemy has entered Khan's territory and the capture has been suspended. Apparently, this is their leader, grinning at Khan's confused face. In this test, the team consists of 2 people, and 4 suddenly appeared on the territory. Khan immediately understood what was happening. Here, and without explanation, it is clear that 4 notorious bastards must have gotten together and formed a squad of killers in order to earn more achievements. Bingo, I immediately got the point, and now all I want is death, you bastard. Through the use of the unique characteristic of fusion of hearts, Challenger Han Sung-yoon now shares the pain of Challenger Kim Jin-hyun. The pain tolerance skill is activated. All types of pain are reduced by 15%. Well, this is seriously seawater, but what harm can it do to the main character? Khan touched the water of the 6th floor of the test, so his strength is reduced by 10, agility is reduced by 10, endurance is reduced by 10, and the penalty duration is 2 minutes 59 seconds. It turns out that there is a fine for touching water, but who could know this was not said anywhere. This is really happening in a real terrible scenario. Of course for an ordinary player, but not for Khan, a strong and crazy hunter. The strategy of depriving the enemy of weapons and reducing his stats, admittedly, is quite good, but they made one mistake. They chose the wrong opponent, an unequal opponent. After a critical hit, Khan received many achievements. The achievement of killing with 1 blow, and the skill of contempt for the weak F was also created. Its effect is that if the opponent cannot surpass any of the user's stats, the strength increases according to the difference in stats. The hero received the Merciless Killer achievement, agility increased by 1. Opponents do not understand what to do, attack at the same time, or simply give up. The leader of the opposing team showed his weakness and finished off his comrade. Literally, Khan shares one pain with the victim. But fortunately, there is no real damage. The only problem is that this pain limits the actions of the hero. If Khan takes another step in their direction, this sick idiot will cut his throat too. Thanks to the pain tolerance skill, the hero is able to move at least somehow. But the catch is that at such speed, it is difficult to properly react to the enemy's attack. As expected, there is only one answer. It is necessary to kill the challenger who activated the fusion of hearts as soon as possible. If not now, then there will be no other chance. There is no point in delaying. The feeling that Khan's throat was literally cut, permeating his entire being. The enemy was doomed to death. His last words were a compliment towards Khan, a psycho. He received the achievement Cold-Blooded Slasher, earning 1,500 points. Time is up, the stronghold is captured. Whether it was someone instigating it, many people were excited about the kill at the beginning of the challenge. But in the end, the final winners were those who kept the team. Of course, there were some exceptions. He didn't do anything wrong. It was all the bastard's fault for not being able to dodge the blow. In the eyes of other contenders, does Khan look like the same monster as him? What do they think about Khan? The hero has overcome the 6th floor of the challenge tower. The random draw box B will be sent to Khan's inventory. As a reward for the breakthrough, 8,000 points are awarded as a reward and the long-awaited move to the waiting room. Khan absorbed all the spirits of the players he personally killed with his own hands. Upon entering the 7th floor test waiting room, the tower activated its motion viewing function. There is even an S-class, as the main character thought. The first return was not a simple achievement. Random draw box B. By opening the box, the hero will randomly receive one of the items from both F and B ranks. If the rank varies from F to B, then you probably shouldn't wait much. The main thing is to just pull out any item and start absorbing souls. Yeah, I can't even find words. There are no words, just emotions. How can I understand this green miracle? What kind of Pokemon is this? Does Han need to catch it or something? You can endlessly watch how the fire burns, how the water flows, how Han tries to catch up with the green Pokemon from his own gift for passing the 6th floor. Yes, gotcha. Now you won't escape from the hunter's hands. Khan is just hungry, okay? Just kidding. But here even I felt bad. The Pokemon is quite cute, so Khan tried to treat him so softly. Maybe he considered him a goblin, like those from the village. That's right. After landing a critical hit, the main character drew an item corresponding to the highest class in the random draw box. But if we are talking about the highest class, then Khan knocked out a rare Class B item. Wrought Iron Pendant increases the effects of metallurgy and sword skills by 7%, and when injected with mana, the exclusive effect of Steel Protection is activated. During activation, the skin absorbs 10% of all physical damage. This pendant has much better parameters than most A-class items. Equipped with both attack and defense, it is truly a fraudulent item. Khan did not expect anything from this draw. If you look closely, when he appears in the waiting room, he immediately catches the jackpot. There is only one minus. There is an exclusive effect that absorbs mana at the speed of light. Khan should save his mana to use the pendant at a critical moment, because no one can predict what will happen next. Now it's time to check the status window of the unique characteristic that was recently assigned a D rank. What? Why does the tower immediately ask if Han is ready for the challenge or not? Isn't there usually a waiting time allotted before the next floor is challenged? If there is an opportunity to start the test a little faster, then there is nothing wrong with that. The faster the main character starts, the faster he will finish. Of course, in a good way, papa. As Han thought, the rest of the group also lost their waiting time. But no one cares. No one is particularly interested in the first mover advantage, and the atmosphere in the community is one of desperation to return home. Isn't it because most of them are low-ranking hunters? And compared to the 6th floor, the manner of communication has changed a lot. Khan is sure that all these maniacs simply lay low, became quiet, and do not stick their heads out. One should also be wary of homicidal maniacs who use the lives of their comrades as simple tools for profit. And most importantly, Khan needs to develop skills that will not be shaken by any variables, because the 8th floor is just around the corner. The hunter remembered about the status window for a unique characteristic. What more specifics have been added to the description of the basic effect? If previously the main emphasis was on enhancing stats, now souls can be used as magical power. The hero hoped that there would be something like an increase in the likelihood of obtaining skills. Anything could happen, so the ability to protect the body would never be superfluous. Well, isn't it time for the winner to test how effective the spiritual shield is? It's worth the risk, because even if he cuts off his hand, the waiting room is equipped with a healing buff in any case, and everything will be fine. The spirit absorbed the damage inflicted on the user. Player Wook Sung-jin's soul has disappeared. The number of souls in his possession is 3 out of 30. Wow, the efficiency exceeded all expectations. It's better not to absorb all the souls, but to always have a couple in reserve to ensure your own protection. Who knows, maybe a stranger from another dimension will attack again. Oh, how is it possible? Why Khan slipped to 4th place? Because he distinguished himself more than the rest. But you shouldn't be upset, because to get the title of Pioneer, you just need to enter the top 50. During this day, the hero was very tired. Now he would lie down and take a nap. But there is no time to pull the cat by the tail. It's time to challenge the next test on the 7th floor. A new test has begun. Its topic is proof. Time is given 40 minutes. The condition for successfully passing the test is to pass 3 tests in the allotted time. Quite a strange corridor for a hunter. The atmosphere is completely different from previous tests. Literally, no one's presence is felt, and this is extremely annoying for the main character. The test tower threw Khan into the first test zone. It is necessary to prove that the hero has overcome his fears. It would be better if there was no clown here. Wow, the location is eerily familiar, as if Han had been there not so long ago. A very strange feeling. The tower wants to say that it transferred the main character on the first day to the first floor of the tests, that is. That's right, as expected. This is the second encounter with the sand golem. Now this space is a reproduction of the training test. Honestly, now Han can defeat the sand golem with his eyes closed. Doesn't this mean that very soon the hero will be on the 8th floor? But one thing appeared, even a few not. Was the golem originally so huge? I don't want to be a pessimist, but it seems like its dimensions are slightly larger than the first floor. While the sand golem did not fully understand what was happening, Khan decided to quickly hit him on the empty head to see what would happen to him. It's strange. The weak point of the golem is the core, but the hero cannot find it anywhere. Where could it be? Maybe the more massive the golem, the deeper the core is hidden in the body. Since it is not possible to deal with him with one blow, then Khan will simply chop him into pieces. As expected, Khan is just cutting sand over and over again. He must find and destroy the core at all costs. Oh damn, with his tactics, the main character only brought the sand golem into rage and aggression. You can go crazy, dodging a blow is not a problem, but if a sand wave falls, well, that's it. Now Khan has definitely lost his mind, lies in the sand and smiles. It's time to activate the 3 absolute skill. Wow, the hero didn't expect himself to be able to blow his arm off with one blow. This already reminds me of something. When Han encountered the so-called floor infiltration, he was incredibly angry. But now Han should thank that knight for intruding into the test. Although this bastard is restored with the help of sand, Khan nevertheless must continue to slash with his sword until he manages to find the core. After so many cutting blows, it is unlikely that the golem will be able to recover as quickly. Khan begins to rage, pierce the entire golem, but there he could not find the damn core. Suddenly, out of nowhere, Khan compliments the sand golem that he is so cute, although not so long ago he was aggressive and evil. The golem was embarrassed. It was the first time he heard that he was cute. It appears that the resource called sand, which makes up the golem's body, cannot be extracted from the environment indefinitely. Khan understands this very well and again hurries to reduce the sand golem. The golem obviously didn't like this. He didn't particularly like the proposal. Finally, the main character was able to find the core. All that remains is to break through it, and the matter will remain small. The core is located on the golem's back. Most likely, the body was covered with a thick layer of sand, so getting to it became extremely difficult than on the first floor. Khan still needs to speed up, because 40 minutes are allotted for the entire floor, and only the golem took about 10 minutes. As soon as the hero was distracted, the golem decided to strike. Apparently, after an intensive diet, he became much more agile. Although Han wanted to play with the sand golem longer, he should hurry without wasting time. Khan proved that he had overcome his fear by killing the sand golem. But here comes the first failure. Khan is unable to absorb the spirit of the sand golem, which is very strange. The hero is very angry. Why did he even try then? Improving his skill also went down the drain. The hunter entered the second testing zone. He will have to prove that he has become wiser. The location is again painfully familiar, as if Khan was here just yesterday. Yes, this is the location of the second test, an orc settlement, as Khan thought the previous tests are repeated. But why the first ones and in order? These are orc huntsmen. During the test on the second floor, Khan destroyed an orc village. That is, if you think logically, then subsequent events unfold before the hero. The orcs had an attack of rabies. This is such an observable phenomenon among the orcs that it is no longer surprising. The problem for Han is that with the orcs running amok, they are no longer pathetic monsters like the E rank. But why are they so angry? Because ogres are ordinary monsters who should not show the pain of losing a family member. Khan reminded the orc of the disgusting feeling. While Khan was dealing with the family of this orc, he just stood and watched his family die. The orc tried to take revenge for his family, but it was too late. Khan proved that he had become wiser. He completed the second test as successfully as the first. The last one was the third. This time, Khan has no right to hesitate. He needs to absorb all the spirits of the Orc Rangers as soon as possible. Great! Khan has increased his skill by 6% and now has 19 souls out of 30. The hero entered the third test zone. To complete the 7th floor, it is necessary to prove that Khan has overcome his doubts. Han was literally here not long ago. This is the 6th floor battle area. Since the previous zones were reconstructions of the 1st and 2nd floors, Khan believed that the next test would be the 3rd floor with a double, but not the 6th. In the inventory was a potion of life. This is a restoration potion made from special water filled with the richness of life. When taken, 20% of lost physical and magical strength is restored. Now the hero feels much better. Khan only had to throw away a small bottle of the potion when he caused a kind of tsunami. Oh damn, Han was once again down to the last minute to complete the floor. He would need to put all his energy into successfully completing it. The tests that have been played so far have repeated the existing rules, which means that in order to pass this test, Khan needs to find and occupy the red strong point tile. Until then, the hero must under no circumstances come into contact with the local water. Khan has become much faster and more vulnerable. At least the wave cannot catch him. Damn it! Khan falls and comes into contact with the water of the test. His strength, agility, and endurance are reduced by 10. Will this really be a defeat for the hero? Even the thought of the tiles remaining in the same order gave Han a kind of hope. The hope is that there is, after all, at least some common sense in the Tower of Trials. The hero certainly could not have expected to die in such a place. Instantly accelerating, Khan finally found the red platform of the strong point. It was just a matter of time. Is this irritating ordeal for Khan going to end soon? Now the Tower of Tests decided to go completely crazy. Khan was about to step on the threshold of the slab when water began to come from all sides. There was still a little time left, but the water knocked Khan over. The main character had already accepted defeat, but he forgot about his inventory. The tower activated an exclusive suspension effect, so the protective layer absorbs 10% of all physical damage. The spirit absorbed the damage done by Khan, and the souls of the orcs disappeared. The hunter clearly felt the shockwave, but right before the blow could knock the hero off his feet, the shield blocked all the damage caused. Damn, the player's time is up. The assassin's cloak exclusive effect is disabled. For Khan, this is a real curse. He has never encountered so many problems at once, and if instant acceleration fails, then Khan is definitely screwed. Using one of the spirits, Khan has replenished his strength and is ready to fight further. There is just a little bit left. The main character in the depths is already imagining how the 8th floor will go. The most important thing is to get through at least this one. Damn, there's definitely no time to think about the 8th floor. A new problem has appeared for Khan that needs to be solved as soon as possible. Through pain and torment, Khan passes through a wall of water, exhausting the soul of the orc huntsman. When Khan landed on the capture point slab with incredible speed, he lost all the souls of the orcs, leaving 12 out of 30 in his possession. The hero managed to cope with the test, proving that he had overcome his doubts and successfully completed the third test. As rewards, Khan receives the Wind Grace skill A, 15,000 points, High Speed Boots C+. Now the hero can rest with peace of mind. During this test, Khan was close to failure, but still managed to win. In the current situation, the hero is a little anxious to immediately go to the 8th floor, which is understandable. But nevertheless, Khan does not think that he will continue to have such great luck. The tower displayed the very message that the main character had been waiting for so long, for which he fought until he lost his pulse. Khan is the same contender who was called a pioneer on all previous floors. He can choose the long-awaited halo. Hello! An advantage that can only be obtained if on all previous floors the applicant has been assigned the title of Pioneer, that is Khan. The tower advised to choose wisely, but has the test tower ever given such advice? This must mean that the halo is something important. Khan read the description and realized that the halo affects all skills and even a unique characteristic. The hero has decided on the choice of halo, choosing a ruler. A special effect triggers the evolution of a unique characteristic. With the summoner skill, Khan will be able to use absorbed spirits to revive powerful skeletal corpses. The next skill, Magic Swordsman, sword and magic talent increases, and the ability can increase 3 times. Creator, this talent for creating objects increases, and the ability to acquire skills also increases, but by 3 times. Khan was pleasantly surprised to learn that this was the effect of the ruler's halo. He didn't even think about it, and immediately chose it. After activation, the creation of a unique skill synthesis ability began. Wow! It turns out that Khan can now combine useless skills to create something new, which means he definitely won't be left in the red. Khan began his first synthesis of 2 skills, contempt for the weak and continuing the battle to see what would come of it. By synthesizing the 2 skills, Han gained a new skill, forced breakthrough. The hero can break through unknown forms of containment, such as skills and unique characteristics. Khan could not have thought that by combining 2 skills, he would get such a cool skill D when he was hoping for a maximum of E. This is definitely another jackpot. The hero wanted to try his luck again by synthesizing 2 skills. The skill of the strong IE has been created. The hero will be able to provide himself with some visibility even in bad conditions. Khan's vision will become sharper. The main character went from maintaining pioneer status to receiving the reward of a halo. But then why does he feel a little strange? Khan doubts whether he achieved all this through his own efforts or whether he was simply lucky with a unique characteristic. The hunter is tired of lying around idle, thinking about all sorts of nonsense, and believes that it is better to check the reward he received. Khan forgot that he received the A-Wind Grace skill, which, when activated, increases all speeds by 10%. But if he manages to sum up the skills, he can increase any speed by 70%. In addition, this skill will not consume mana from the hero. It is an absolutely free skill. Essentially, this is a skill that has no downsides. All the rewards on the 7th floor are related to speed, which makes the main character incredibly happy. After looking at the store, Han only bought the magic resistance skill because the price tag was incredibly high. Now the main character will not be caught off guard by something like the unique characteristic of the fusion of hearts that Han had a hard time with in the past. Mana used by a random image hunter forms a chain and enhances physical abilities. As expected, Khan once again made a successful purchase. Well, now Khan has to make an important decision. Challenge the next floor now, or just return to Earth. Meanwhile, teams are already gathering on the floor, but one guy just can't gather his comrades. All words avoid him. All hunters consider the guy a black sheep, because no one would want to join the team of this E-rank trash. The guy understands everything perfectly, but he can't do anything, because there is some truth here. At a moment unexpected for everyone, our main character, a C-rank hunter, Han Song-yoon, comes in. He is ready to join the team, if the recruitment has not yet been closed. Khan decided to join the team of that same poor fellow. The guy was not at a loss and gladly accepted him. But the very insolent person who insulted the E-rank guy didn't like the fact that Han took an interest out of turn. Believing in himself, the daredevil dared to threaten Khan, grabbing him by the shoulder. The main character, without hesitation, calmly told him that if he did not remove his hand from his shoulder, it would be broken in every way that exists. In order not to show his weakness, the daredevil hid behind representatives from the Hunter Association. Han told Hunter Lee Cheol-won that he was unlikely to find the team, so there was no point in dragging his feet, and it was time to go to the gate. The guy was very surprised that he and Khan would go only together. The main character calms Vaughn down because Han himself can handle most D-rank monsters. One was very worried and asked Han who dies more often, an E-rank hunter or a C-rank hunter. According to him, it is obvious that E-rank, but this is not so. E-rank hunters are extremely careful because they know they are weak, while C-rank hunters are too confident in their abilities, so the probability of an outcome for C-rank hunters is extremely high, Vaughn said. Vaughn also added that his thoughts can be compared to driving, because the more self-confident the driver, the higher the likelihood of getting into an accident. Khan understood everything perfectly well why these words were spoken. Under the command of the team, Khan risks not only himself, but also the team, since they entered the gate without a tank and a healer. Since this E-rank boy has more experience in visiting dungeons, he offered himself to be the team leader. Khan was a little shocked after what Vaughn said, because Khan planned to be in charge. The main character gave the go-ahead for Vaughn to become a leader. The boy does this for everyone's safety. After the conversation, the team moved forward, but on the way they met a lizard man. Apparently, this is not the first time Vaughn has seen them, and he knows that they skillfully use various types of weapons. Vaughn has already decided everything. He will draw all the attention of this creature to himself, and Khan will have to attack at the signal when the lizardman opens his back. The hero is terrified. He thought there would be a real battle, and his teammate is measuring strength with the lizardman. Now the temporary return to Earth takes only 3 days, and Khan has to lose valuable time because of some insignificant lizardman. Khan asked for forgiveness from his leader and is obliged to intervene in this because he is offended for wasting his time. Vaughn asked not to do this, because if Khan interfered in the battle, he would be in danger. The E-rank guy was shocked how this was possible. Khan apologized for his outburst. He intervened because he was in a hurry. After killing the lizard man, Khan told his comrade that he now wants to become a leader, clearly showing in battle who the real leader is. But at this moment, a large number of lizardmen attacked. Khan does not like opponents, because this is a unilateral massacre without resistance. Vaughn believed that at the moment, he was witnessing the battle of a super rookie who would shake up the hunter industry in the future. The boy was upset that besides playing the role of a porter, he was of no use. As the team discussed the distribution of profits, a lizardman flew towards Han's back. One could only guess whether the hero would survive, but his instincts saved him once again, and the hero dodged a blow in the back. Khan, without hesitation, deals with the lizard, defeating it in just a couple of blows, sentencing the enemy to death. The hero understands perfectly well what his partner Wendy is thinking about now, so he suggested that they discuss everything outside so as not to lose their vigilance once again. Khan pretended to yawn in front of Wendy so as not to directly show how he absorbed the souls of the opponents he killed. Absorption only added 0.07% to strength. At this rate with D-class monsters, increasing the mastery of a unique characteristic would take a very long time. At the beginning of the meeting with the hero, the partner could not even think that such a duo would be able to reach the portal leading to the boss's room. Looking at the hero, Wendy realized that such a person, as a hero, was quite capable of completely clearing the dungeon. The hero understood perfectly well that when they entered the room with the boss, they would see the Lizard King in front of them. Khan decided to act as usual, without a clear plan, so he rushed into battle, thinking up a plan as the battle progressed. But what the hero definitely didn't expect was that the enemy would be able to outplay him and deal a crushing blow. Wendy can only watch this battle. He arrived in a panic and began to worry about his commander. However, Khan was incredibly lucky. His spirit absorbed the damage caused by the enemy. The hero had the most opportune moment to test all his new skills. The Lizard King did not wait for the hero to attack and activated his skill, due to which Khan was exposed to a slowdown wave, as a result of which the speed decreased by 25%. The only way out for the hero was to activate a forced breakthrough. The hero's magical power is twice as powerful as that of the lizard, so he can easily cope with the slowdown. The skill is the result of synthesis, so Khan had some doubts about it, but its effectiveness was excellent. Wendy does not have the same skills as the hero, so without his help, he will not be able to get out of the lizard's trap. The lizard noticed the immobilized Wendy and changed its target, heading towards him. Khan, as if at the speed of light, ran to save his partner from the cowardly king. But even his sonic speed was not enough to catch up with the enemy, so he activated the skill of summoning the dead, who would come to Wendy's defense. Of course, they do not have enough strength to stop such a giant, but nevertheless, the hero will at least gain valuable time with their help. Khan managed to save his partner by catching up with the lizard and activating the Wind's Mercy skill. Fortunately, the boss of the dungeon, the king of the lizards, died, leaving a cowardly leader who was afraid of an equal opponent and decided to kill the weaker himself. The hero immediately absorbed the soul of the king, taking only the best from him. For example, from now on Khan, entering battle, will be able to recognize attacks in the visible range. While the hero was struggling in the dungeon, one of the leaders from above was already bored that nothing special had happened, except for the appearance of 3 portals at the same time. The leader believed that again no one would be able to defeat the boss after opening the room, so he thought that the attacking team of the Hunters Association would again be responsible for eliminating the boss. But if the fighters cope with the cleanup without the help of the Hunters Association, then the leader's control team will also be able to receive their promised share. Only the leader was upset, realizing that no one would be able to cope with such a task, because to carry out the cleanup, an A rank would be needed, as at that moment Khan returned with Wendy. No one could believe that Khan's 2-man team could complete the cleanup in such a short time. The leader learned from the colorless portal that the hero was telling the truth about the cleanup, which meant that the boss's room had been completely eliminated. After much chatter, the leader finally decided to introduce himself to the hero. His name is John. He leads the portal control group from the Hunters Association that arrived here to monitor the suddenly appeared portals in the park. Wendy decided that John was here for only one reason, to buy the rights to occupy the portal, to which the leader confirmed his words. But the hero's partner is not the one who has the right to make a decision in this matter. The leader did not quite understand this answer for himself. Wendy explained that Khan single-handedly captured the entire dungeon, also eliminating the boss of the dungeon, the Lizard King. From such information, John almost swallowed his tongue. When John found out that the hero was not an A rank, but a C rank, he turned even whiter. The The leader finally came to the conclusion of his speech. His team wants to buy the occupation for 1,200,000,000 won, which is equal to 76 million rubles. After returning from the testing tower, the girl does nothing but work like a horse. Unexpectedly for her, someone called her at such a late hour. When she looked who it was, she was very surprised and began to worry. The girl's entire management is furious. She never thought that it would be so difficult to recruit applicants. The girl was not able to recruit even 10 people, and all these applicants were of low complexity, and this was not enough to satisfy the top management. Sandy now regrets not being able to decide to propose to the hero. However, as soon as the girl thought about him, at that very second a message came from the hero. He would like to meet with Sandy, if, of course, she returned from the tower. Khan still does not believe that he has such a huge account. Sometimes he even began to think about buying a house. Sandy, after receiving a message from the hero, began to run and ran to the meeting, out of breath. The hero perfectly noticed the girl's behavior, that she was in a very big hurry, even though he didn't demand it. Sandy replied that she had been waiting for a long time for an answer to the message, and without waiting, hearing these words, the hero uncharacteristically began to feel embarrassed. The girl doesn't hold much grudge, but she wouldn't mind trying cheesecake with a cup of coffee, at the guy's expense, of course. Khan said that he was actually going to continue his ascent to the testing tower, but he contacted him because he had one request. Khan needs to join a guild. Then he will have the opportunity to attack dungeons during his short return from the trial tower. But the hero also has his own conditions. This is the right to refuse an order to appear at the guild. Also, non-interference in the hero's affairs related to the Tower of Trials. Permission to use the guild dungeons at any time. After the conditions were announced, Khan felt that he had gone a little too far. Sandy replied that such conditions were absolutely impossible to fulfill, because from the point of view of the guild, nothing would fall to her. This was an amazing chance for the girl. She took the hero's hand and offered to join her guild. After the meeting, the hero thought about one thing. He wanted to make these impossible conditions feasible. From raiding the dungeon to selling the occupation rights, plus joining the guild, Han had a very productive day yesterday. To join a girls' guild, the hero will have to demonstrate his abilities to make it easier to convince the top management, because the privilege of free use of the guild's dungeons is not available to everyone. Khan perfectly understood the girl's speculation. Her words mean that not everyone can bathe in cream using the dungeons of the White Guild. At a minimum, this must be either a rising star or a hunter on whom high hopes are pinned. Nothing will stop Khan. He asked Sandy to prepare everything necessary for the cleanup. Sandy promised the hero that she would do everything so that the hero would never regret his decision. The hero had already begun to demonstrate his abilities and decided to start jogging as a warm-up. Meanwhile, the girl came to warn the guards about the reservation for the assault on the portal, which would take place in an hour. Security confirmed the request. The employee suggested waiting under the canopy because there was enough time. At this time, the hero ran to his destination. He ran so fast that he demolished the canopy with his shockwave, which made him a little worried. While the girl was glad that the hero appeared so quickly, the guard could not believe that the shockwave came from the wind. But deep down, Sandy did not understand who Khan really was. Sandy told the hero that the entrance to the portal was ready. All you had to do was prepare and enter at any time. The hero, without hesitation, decided to go to the raid right now. Khan and Sandy set off and arrived at the location, which is located on the field, which led the hero into confusion. If the hero finds himself in danger, he will need to immediately let him know about it. Unlike him, the girl is not in danger. Sandy wears an artifact that was issued by the White Guild, the A-rank Empress necklace, which has a shield function and a weak invisibility effect. After all, if the girl attracts the attention of the monsters, then at some point she will provide help, so she decided to try to stay as far away from the battlefield as possible. The hero began clearing, when suddenly the skill that he inherited from the King of the Lizards was activated. He showed that there were opponents nearby. Sandy screamed for the hero to evade the poisonous fishermen, because these creatures violate all the rules of the C-rank dungeon. For Han, this kind of brat is a small part of the snack, so it can easily cope with all the fish. Sandy couldn't believe her eyes that she had seen such a start to a battle live, but the only thing she knew for sure was that she had made the right choice. For the hero, the appearance of the lightning effect is such a rarity that he completely forgot about its existence. The hero has more or less restored order nearby, so Sandy can move forward calmly. Sandy doesn't understand how Khan managed to get to the portal, leading to the boss's room in less than an hour, and even alone. The girl also understands that the team is now in a location that violates the rules, because the poisonous fisherman is a monster that cannot be taken lightly. One of the monsters recommended for group attacks, even for the same C-rank hunters, is the poisonous fisherman. Therefore, the girl cannot believe that Khan so playfully dealt with this monster, as if a helpless baby was standing in front of him. The only thing that Sendi realizes is that this is not the chapel of the hero's growth. She is afraid to imagine what will happen to him in the future. Having dealt with all the fishermen, Khan increased his strength by 4, agility by 3, endurance by 4, mana by 6, and durability by 7. With this hero level, the boss will not pose any threat in the battle against him. When the team entered the boss's room, Sendi became suspicious that there were still no monsters. At that same second, a fire-breathing lizard fell on them from above with complete anger towards them. Khan felt a serious threat, so he saved her without Sendi's consent, although this was her task, but the girl, on the contrary, was happy and remained in debt. The hero asked for forgiveness. He left the girl alone for a while to deal with that creature. Sandy stopped the hero, offering to use the enhancement skill on him, since the situation is really tense, and at the moment is not the time to test personal abilities. But Khan abandoned this idea because he is confident in his abilities against the lizard. As soon as the hero jumped towards the enemy, he immediately activated the instant acceleration skill and applied the exclusive effect of speed boots, which instantly increases speed. The lizard, looking at the hero, was afraid of the man, being himself a terrifying opponent. Khan himself did not notice how he shredded the enemy in a few fractions of seconds. The boss of the dungeon, the Blue Flame Fisherman, was defeated at the hands of the hero. Now in 3 hours the dungeon will be destroyed. Looking at the whole battle, the girl is completely confused and does not understand which of them is really a monster. Sandy never expected that Khan, being a C-rank hunter, would clear the dungeon so quickly. The girl congratulated the hero on successfully passing the test. Now he will be able to use the dungeons of the White Guard. Their guild is not so stupid as to miss such a talent as Hana. Such words really touched the hero, for which he is incredibly grateful. But Sendi decided to move away from this topic and touch on a more important one. She understands that in fact the hero is having a terrible time in the Tower of Trials, so she asks to be more careful because she herself wants to see the hero's entire growth. Khan has never felt so embarrassed and lost. Sendi's words are important to him, so he will fight more carefully. There were 5 minutes left before moving to the testing tower. The hero thought so, and realized that all these 3 days he had really been spinning like a squirrel in a wheel. Thanks to this experience, the hero grew both stats and self-confidence. Time on Earth is up, and Khan moves back to the Tower of Trials for new battles and adventures. Khan immediately go to the test, located on the 8th floor, using the battle intersection point. The hero has the qualifications of a pioneer, so the tower began recruiting an administrator. As soon as the consultation began with the Steel Blood Lord, the manager of the battle crossing point, the hero entered the world of Steel Blood. Khan immediately activated the Eye of Truth, the world of Steel Blood. This is a space created specifically for the administrator, a place where uninvited guests cannot look. The administrator has the right to convey his words through tower messages, so he told the hero to stop suffering from nonsense and start following the sword. The Khan did not argue with the Lord, so he followed the sword and came to a certain hut. When the hero entered the hut, he saw in front of him the very administrator who had been appointed to hold a consultation with the hero. Yes, outwardly she looks like a foreign beauty, but not everything is so simple. In fact, in front of Khan sits a creature who controls the testing tower. The girl was extremely curious to know what a monster like Khan looks like, and she was quite surprised. The Lord only knew about what happened on the 4th floor from the final report because it is impossible to observe the tests of applicants below the 8th floor. Apparently, Khan does not know everything about the Tower of Tests. The administrators are not omnipotent beings, like the same gods, and they do not control the tower at all. Administrators should be seen as beings subordinate to the tower, so the hero should not be nervous in the presence of the Lord. The girl decided to leave all the chatter. This personal consultation is an earned advantage for the hero, so he can ask any questions. Then Khan decided to ask about the 5th floor. He almost died at the hands of an applicant from another dimension. The hero does not understand why he came to him. The Lord explained that this was within normal limits. The intruder could not only steal the reward for testing that floor, but also get more advantageous benefits. Challengers from other worlds come from where the tower has existed for decades. They are well aware that the reward for harming a challenger from another world is incredibly high. And they also know that the tower of this world will someday be united with the towers of another world. Starting from the 20th floor, the focus is on combined challenges rather than personal ones, and then the hero will have to meet challengers from another world. All this is quite similar to the desire to eliminate in advance a competitor whom you will have to meet one day. Having collected his thoughts, the hero finally decided to ask at least someone what kind of structure the Tower of Tests was. In fact, the girl herself would like to know the answer to this question. Originally, the so-called administrators were the same aspirants as the hero. Applicants who die after the 40th floor gain the right to be reborn as administrators again. At one time, a girl climbed a tower to see the end, but she could not reach the top of the tower. Although no, it would be more correct to say that all the administrators died before reaching the end. Khan was very upset that all the administrators were eliminated applicants. He wanted to find out at least something about the top of the tower. After the hero's words, the girl immediately grabbed him by the throat. Words about the top of the tower are not at all something that can be uttered so frivolously and carelessly. The Lord herself said that personal consultation is an advantage for Khan, especially since he does not feel any hostility from the girl. And the hero does not intend to allow the girl to harm him so easily. How many years has the girl lived? And for the first time she saw someone who was able to destroy the administrator's residence. The hero's actions convinced the Lord, and now she is ready to offer a contract of patronage. Khan returned to his room and decided to look at the exclusive store, where he was convinced that he had indeed entered into a contract. A girl cannot just let go of an applicant who is both talented and brave. Khan signed the contract, giving his full informed consent. As a special benefit provided by the contractor, all heroes' stuns will increase by 1. Khan also decided to buy the power of the mind from an exclusive store, which allows him to reason sensibly in any situation. The hero accepted that it was better to raise his survival bar in this way than to prepare for nothing at all. After the purchase, the hero went to the test of the 8th floor of high difficulty. The condition for successful completion of the test is the elimination of the lich that summons skeletons. Looking at 1,000,000 skeletons from above, the hero thought that this was a test to suppress the challenger with numbers, but the hero could no longer be stopped. Khan literally walked over the heads of the skeletons, ending up at the very epicenter. As expected, opponents cannot penetrate even basic defenses. The hero hasn't had such an easy battle for a long time. It's just that the skeletons themselves are very frail. For each skeleton killed, the hero's skill is increased by 0.08, but this is too little. Khan absorbed the souls to summon skeleton soldiers. Previously, he did not know that they were usable. The hero activated the Wind's Mercy skill, increasing his speed by 60%, ran through the wall of skeletons and headed after the boss. The boss was angry that an insignificant little man dared to cross the threshold of the storage facility. Initially, the battle seemed quite easy, until the appearance of sand golems, which the skeleton lord himself can control. Khan believes in his own strength so much that he decided to laugh at the ruler, asking him to summon someone stronger than the golems. If there are no stronger exhibits in the Overlord's arsenal, then the hero will be very upset in this case. And so, after a couple of seconds of attacks, the hero had already managed to blow the head off the shoulders of one of the golems. Khan is very happy. Such undead greatly increases his skill, by as much as 1.2% for each golem. It was then that the ruler became confused and wondered where such a monster came from. Khan wanted to deal with the ruler but noticed one detail. Looking at the whole situation, the lich was freely summoning various monsters. The hero forced the overlord to summon as many monsters as possible, as well as summon all the skeletons that remained alive in order to invest their powers in the golems. The skeleton lord was wildly tired of summoning monsters. Then he asked the hero how many were left. Khan has really gotten the hang of it and can't stop. This whole circle of earning mastery will end when the hero himself decides. After killing monsters multiple times, the hero's mastery of the unique characteristic necromancy has reached 100%. It turns out that now necromancy also has a C rank. The skeleton lord considers the hero a scumbag who will make even the devil tremble. He promised to curse the hero even after death. The enemy responds so negatively because all the calls of monsters lose his life energy, which means that he will soon simply die. Khan has no choice but to simply kill the ruler himself. The hero received the achievement of a personality that has surpassed the devil and also increased his skill by as much as 17.4%. Khan successfully completed the 8th floor of the test, for which all his statistics increased by 2 as a reward. In the waiting room, the hero began to study all the rewards. Now he will not have to upgrade his skill from scratch. Khan is well aware that the 8th floor test ended rather smoothly, but there is no guarantee that the 9th floor test will be the same. That is why the hero is in no hurry to move on. He decided to carefully prepare for the next test. Since the hero has maxed out the skill, he has come to the point where he needs a replacement sword skill. The hero searched the entire store, but did not find such a skill, so he decided to create it himself. If Khan is going to increase the rank of the Hunter Dagger using skill synthesis, then he should predict the combination compatibility as best as possible. Khan risked everything and decided to synthesize 2 skills, Hunter's Dagger and Basic Swordsmanship, resulting in the creation of Demon Slayer C. Demon Slayer is an art designed to kill demons. When fighting non-humans, the hero's attack speed will increase by 2 times. Khan was so happy with his new successful skill that he became excited and decided to synthesize the remaining skills. The hero received the Ashen Blood B skill. This is the main racial trait with which a mutant vampire is born. The skill also has a 3-fold acceleration of regeneration, and this in itself is cheating. In addition to this, it also blocks pain. Since the waiting room is equipped with healing, the hero will not be able to properly test this skill. The hero spent 100 points and removed the regeneration effect. Since all the spirits were absorbed, the shield is not activated in any way. Khan cut his entire hand, but fortunately the ability turned out to be amazing. Even outside the waiting room, the hero is as if under eternal healing. In addition to this level of regeneration, Khan also has a spiritual shield. Khan did not delay for long, so he went to the 9th floor of the test. The condition for successfully passing the test is to eliminate all the monsters in the arena within the allotted time. But before the hero even had time to enter the room, the system reported insecurity, and the floor-level infiltration of applicants from the world of Murim was confirmed. The theft of the test target by a challenger from the world of Murim was confirmed. The hero understood perfectly well what was happening. This story reminded him of the 5th floor, when he barely survived. The purpose of the test has changed. Khan will have to kill the commander of the Murim Union, Lin. Although the enemy introduced himself to the hero, he does not want to reveal his name. The stranger invaded Khan's floor without good intentions, so the hero will not tell him a single word about himself. The old man believes otherwise, that there is a certain etiquette between fencers. The hero once again has no words. It always happens that among applicants from other systems, he comes across the most inadequate warriors. Lin thought he could easily defeat Khan, but he did not expect that in the hero dimension there was such an experienced warrior, that is, Khan himself. The enemy is constantly trying to be polite when he himself came to someone else's dimension with the intention of theft and bloodshed, to which the old man replied that their views on life are different due to living on different worlds. Lin said goodbye to the hero in advance and pointed his sword into the sky, causing a strange dark phenomenon around them. Due to the unique characteristic of Lin, the light of the sword, the hero was blinded for 5 seconds. Khan was not taken aback and used the magic resistance skill. As a result, the duration of vision loss decreased to 2.5 seconds. Thanks to the use of the skill, the hero received the achievement of avoiding blindness, increasing his agility by 2. Khan managed to cope with black magic and almost had his throat cut. The old man was amazed by the hero's skills for the second time, not understanding how he was able to evade the sword. But the hero did not waste his time chatting with the enemy, so he activated all his speed skills and headed for the attack. Lin blocked the hero's attacks and led him into a trap, calling his technique strange. The hero is a little puzzled. Even despite his incredible height, their characteristics are on the same level. The old man finally laughed and dropped all his jokes, promising to start fighting seriously from this second. Han found himself in complete darkness again due to the unique characteristic of Lin's sword. When the hero reduced blindness to 2.5 seconds, he was very surprised by what he saw. The enemy's attack speed became several times faster. The hero did not have time to dodge one of the attacks, so he activated the exclusive effect of the Forged Iron Pendant. The protective layer will absorb 10% of all physical damage. The sword blow again landed right on the arm, but Khan successfully regenerated. Lin decided to return to his former topic. He already thought that the hero was a good martial artist, but all the techniques were simply borrowed from other players. This time, Han did not remain silent. He noticed that the unique characteristic that Lin uses is also an ability obtained from the tower. While the old man continued to spread his howling philosophy, the hero activated his fast-running skill and launched the final attack. Lin had still carried out floor penetration dozens of times, using his sword to cut down opponents from different worlds. In particular, people on Earth have always been weak warriors in terms of abilities in all respects. The challengers from the ground had never even touched the gloss on Lin's head. Lin expected victory from himself this time too, but he could not have foreseen such power from his opponent. The battle almost reached its logical conclusion. Many administrators became interested in the young contender Khan. Lin was angry at this news and decided to try his luck again. Not everything turned out to be so simple for the enemy. Most of his skills were deactivated, since they are prohibited on this floor. When Lin once again used the sword light skill, Khan stopped panicking. He even got used to such template attacks. The enemy shouldn't have thrown around loud words. It's always you who loses after threatening someone, as happened with the old man. Khan divided his opponent into 2 parts in half. The system congratulated the hero on successfully completing the 9th floor of the challenge tower. Han absorbed the spirit of Lin's challenger, increasing his skill by 27%. As a reward for breaking through, the Sixth Sense skill C+ was created, as well as various points for shopping in the store. As soon as the hero approached the portal of moving to his waiting room, all the administrators began to praise the hero and applaud. Many administrators were pleased with the hero's battle. He feels a slight satisfaction that he received at least some recognition. The hero returned to the waiting room and decided to check if the administrators could see him. Han learned that he could pour mana into weapons and use the Lin sword. The hero has enough money to buy whatever he wants, so he did a bone reconstruction. While the hero was improving the sword, he realized that that old man from the 9th floor was also a monster. In order not to die at the hands of such bastards, the hero decides to first buy more strength. From now on, the hero became the true owner of the power of the Swordmaster Lin. The 3 absolute skill also uses mana, but the feeling for the hero is completely different. If we call the mana flowing in the sword instantly, like a wave, a triple absolute skill, then Master Lin's strength should be compared to a stream of water spreading over the sword. Only there is a catch. Every 1 minute, the mana consumption increases by 2%, and after about 50 minutes, the mana consumption will increase by 100%. Khan decided to distribute his mana well when using this power, so he deactivated the sword's power. The hero also received a 6th sense as a reward. The skill is useful in that the hero's sense will improve significantly. The last thing the hero did was look at the community. As expected, there were a lot of comments about the common areas that were added on the 10th floor. Khan immediately noticed in the chat that one of the users was offered to exchange power, which the hero did not know about. To understand everything for himself, the hero went to the general area for reconnaissance. Khan even used a question ticket to find out as much as he could about the place. One group of people recognized one guy as the same hunter from Korea, if the rank is A-class. The head considers the guy a strong hunter, and this constantly worries him that the behavior of the strongest of Korea always leaves much to be desired. Then he realized that it was possible to kill outside the general area, so his target had already been marked. The guy's mana consumption rate increased sharply, and due to the effect of a unique characteristic territory limitation, all stats decreased by 20%. The body has become as if petrified. He cannot even move his little finger. The fortune came from the hands of a gang. They laughed at him that he is one of the strongest Korean hunters, but has no idea what is happening at the moment. The guy is completely confused. They are not on probation, but the gang even here is engaged in robbery. A girl decided to stand up for the guy and threatened to turn on the community function to inform absolutely everyone about the actions. The head just laughed at this. If the girl throws off her items, that is, undresses, then perhaps he will let the guy go. The bully was just about to start harassing the girl when Khan walked past him and was just noticed. Shouting at Khan's back, he finished shouting. He liked that he would have as many as 2 Koreans and 1 girl in his hands. The hero wanted to quietly pass by, but everything did not go according to plan again. Before the start of the battle, Khan warned the gang that it was their decision. They started first. The gang never expected such lightning speed from a passing Korean. The girl and the strongest A-class hunter watched the strangers battle in amazement. Only the head himself remained, without his friends, but soon he too will join in feeding the worms. Khan did not feel sorry for anyone. They made this choice themselves. In the next world, they will act a little smarter. The girl asked Khan for forgiveness. She should have helped, but the battle ended faster than she could have thought. The guy is honored to meet the ranker hero. He is grateful for saving his life. It seemed to the hero that the gang was going to kill him, so he decided to get rid of the problems that had befallen him. Khan wanted to leave, but the guy left the hero, asking him to leave those bodies of the applicants. The guy said that if the hero leaves these bodies, as well as for saving lives, he will pay with the so-called force. The greatest hunter instantly activated the skill of gluttony and absorbed all the dead bodies and the power of the steel wings. As the guy promised, in return, the hero accepted the power of a gourmet. The hero did not expect that he would so easily receive another element. This is the power that will allow the hero to create wings on his back with the ability to levitate. Many administrators were dissatisfied with such generosity towards the hero. Seeing how far the competition between administrators goes, it is safe to say that they clearly want to get something from the applicants. The guy said that the common area is divided into an arena, an auction area, and a gaming area. In addition to these well-known facts, he can share more interesting information. The other dimensional worlds that have been revealed are still in the process of floor implementation. These are Ares, Murim, and Kalyan. It turns out that everyone can encounter these 3 dimensions when it comes to floor implementation. Aspirants from the world of Ares place great importance on chivalry. Murim's challengers are similar, but a little more aggressive. The hero realized that the Black Knight was from the world of Ares, and Lin was from the world of Marima. What about the world of Kalyan? The guy heard that it is a world of races such as elves, fairies, and beastmen. The guy found out about everything in advance, taking advantage of the right to ask questions. Although the A-class hunter is not a ranker, he asked the hero to take his business card. The guy is the leader of the team monitoring applicants from the Hunters Association. If the hero has any questions, Khan will be able to contact him at any time. When the heroes entered the zone, Khan was very surprised by what he saw, and the guy said that he needed to slowly move towards the auction zone. The guy asked the hero where he would go, but Khan answered without hesitation that he intended to visit the arena. In the arena, Khan saw a tense situation, as many spectators were freaking out over their losses. The hero didn't really understand how to get into the arena, so he decided to just sit in a chair, counting on luck. A message appeared on the scoreboard. Place a bet or go to a duel. If the duel status is confirmed, the duel participants will automatically move to the Colosseum. The reward for winning a duel is the core of the arena itself, as well as various items, skills, and strength. Most viewers quickly noticed the Hellfire Witch, Catherine, the most famous huntress from America. The girl also decided to go to a duel, but she waits too long for her opponent, due to the fact that many are afraid to fight with her, because she has many victories to her credit. Catherine was disappointed, calling everyone present cowards. But the girl did not have time to leave the arena. After notification of confirmation of the request, Khan became her opponent. Catherine likes the hero's fighting spirit, but she advised first observing the opponent. Having activated her power of Birth of Fire, the girl was already confident of her victory. But Khan does not intend to give up so easily. He has too many trump cards in his pocket, for example, the Lin sword. Once Catherine began to praise herself and talk about providing experience, then the hero decided to give it to the girl. The Steel-Blood Administrator did not expect the hero to master the released energy so quickly. The girl made a great move when she sponsored such a wonderful power. Now in the future, she will need to gain Khan's favor faster than other administrators. It's a pity for Khan to lose the exclusive effect of the cloak due to the inability to use the Wind's Grace skill. The Fire Lady is very interested in how long the hero can fight. Almost all the administrators are watching the battle, grinning at Catherine's attacks. With each activated minute, the hero spends more and more precious mana. Because of this mana consumption, if the battle drags on, the hero will be at a disadvantage. Khan absorbed the spirit, thereby increasing his stats, strength by 2, agility by 1, mana by 3. By absorbing his soul, Khan gains the skill of a lightning sword, with which he can launch energy over long distances. Catherine is infuriated that during the battle, the hero allows himself to be distracted by extraneous matters. Han finally decided to activate the Steel Ash skill, counting on getting lucky the first time. With the very first blow, the hero managed to break the fiery girl's shield, which she definitely did not expect. Khan never gives up ahead of time. Due to his speed, he soon found himself behind the girl's back. As a result, she simply gave up. The hero decided to take part in the duel to hone his sword skills, but the enemy turned out to be quite strong. As a reward, Khan received the Storm Skill C+, which is intended to deliver piercing blows. The hero has only one victory, so he decided to grow, and the next opponent was the opponent of 11th place on the Japanese server. The enemy is aware of Khan's 3rd place on the Korean server, so he was really looking forward to this meeting, but in front of him he saw, in his opinion, a beggar. Initially, the guy didn't understand why the hero was laughing, but he explained that they thought the same about each other. The guy got angry and immediately ran to attack, but Khan was very disappointed by this attack that 11th place was so weak. The hero has become so strong that such a level seems like child's play for him. Khan, without even straining, killed his opponent, striking one blow, defeating him. Meanwhile, news reached the Marami lands that teacher Lin had died as a result of the floor infiltration. One of the students ordered to obtain all the information at any cost, no matter what. Finally, Khan returned to the waiting room on the 10th floor. No trace of fatigue left. The hero in such an unexpected place received a lot of powers, for example. The ability to fly, however, the hero cannot yet buy it due to lack of funds. Therefore, Khan decides to start synthesizing various skills again. The hero synthesized Defense, Counterattack Shield B, Movement Speed, Secret Shadow Step C+, Attack Speed, Frantic Swordplay C+. After inspecting all his new toys, the hero went to the 10th floor. The theme of the test is cooperation. The condition for successfully passing the test is to prevent the resurrection of the Lord, who devours darkness within 3 hours. Team members are distributed according to the final ratings of the participants. First place Keeney. Charlie, a young, capable guy, took 2nd place. Hunter Khan naturally took 3rd place. The final 6th place went to Cedric. Khan recognized the participants as 1st and 2nd place. He realized that they had already met somewhere, since they communicated so nicely with each other. Cedric decided to cry out that he allegedly recognized Khan, that he had once met him on the fourth floor. For Cedric, deception was a piece of cake all his life. He created conflict by pitting others against each other and used that time to gain rewards. The administrator, a lying clown, laughs at the contractor's deception, so much so that even the corners of his mouth tear from laughter. Cedric noticed the excitement on Khan's face, so he decided to add fuel to the fire by saying that the hero even brutally killed members of his team. Khan gradually began to go crazy, not understanding what kind of nonsense the guy started talking about. Keeney grabbed his weapon and said that instead of a foursome where everyone kept to themselves, he preferred a threesome with good teamwork. The Tower of Trials is not a place where one can act lightly, so he decided to find out who is right and who is wrong. He also stated that if something goes wrong and he ends up having to deal with all three participants, that would be the worst-case scenario. Charlie stopped the argument and decided to put everything into perspective. If Cedric met Khan on the fourth floor, then he should know his name. The only point is that the nickname display system appeared from the fifth floor. If Cedric names the true name of the hero, then everything will become clear. The guy called a completely unknown name. During his return to Earth, the hero mistakenly took with him a hunter's ID, and in the end it came in very handy. Keeney finally made his decision based on Cedric's lies. Most of the administrators began to mock and laugh at the guy because of his action. However, Khan stopped the leader. He decided to deal with this handsome guy on his own because he was too angry. Cedric was even pleased with the news that he had a chance of survival. The guy doesn't want to answer for his words. He doesn't know what responsibility is. He only cares about surviving. The guy strongly believed in himself that he could defeat the hero with the skill of the stems, but was very surprised when it didn't work. Keeney suggested it was better to move away from such power, but Charlie even liked it, because you can fully feel the struggle between them. Khan sharply attacked his opponent, but suddenly Cedric launched his spheres again, and the hero seemed to go blind. The hero absorbed all the power of the spheres with his activated contractor's shield skill. Cedric began to flare with rage, not understanding how Khan managed to block the attack so easily. Charlie asked Keen if he had ever heard of the challenger Khan, but he said no, he had never met him. If Keeney had not heard of the hero, then they realized that there was a high probability that Han was once an ordinary civilian, and achieving such a result was not an easy matter. The leader of the raiding noticed that Khan is not even fighting at full strength, which means his strength is equal to Keeney's. Perhaps these are just their guesses, but if so far Team Luck has bypassed the hero in all combined tests, then there is a high probability that the hero was simply underestimated. While Keeney was talking about everything, he was never distracted from the battle. He was very surprised that Khan did not kill Cedric, but simply suppressed him with his superiority. Cedric begged the hero for mercy, in his opinion. Without him, no one would be able to survive this test. Khan thought for a moment that the challenge tower had gathered the 4 best players for a reason, which meant the task would not be easy. The hero looked back at his team, but they warned that they had no right to interfere. The choice would remain with the hero. It was not surprising that Cedric would deceive the hero again. Because of his meanness, he paid with his life. But it turned out that Khan only killed Cedric's magical double due to the activated deception skill. The hero had no doubts about whether to leave Cedric alive or not. Now Khan knows that it is dangerous to get involved with such a scumbag as Cedric. It is better to fight with 3 of us than to have such a player on the team. By reflecting all the energy of the shield into the opponent, the hero eliminates the danger to his team. Khan received the old tailcoat of the Vampire Count A and the Bloody Heavenly Demonic Blade B+, but the hero will become acquainted with these things later. The hero's team praises him, hoping that all problems are now resolved. Now we should not forget about the test of the 10th floor, which will begin in 10 minutes, so the team went forward. On the way, the players met a statue of a warrior on a horse, and such a huge size, Charlie was a little scared that he could come to life. Perhaps Charlie was afraid for good reason. This is a testing tower, and anything can happen here, especially since the players have already come to the right place. There are 3 more statues in the area that give the hero a bad feeling. And what was said in the test conditions turned out to be before the players, the Lord devouring darkness. The grace period has expired. The 10th floor challenge begins. When the allocated time begins to count down, a squad of dark guards will appear. All of Charlie's fears have come true, but Keeney is not worried at all. His bones are numb, which means this is the time to warm up. Keeney reported to Khan that there was a head ahead, which a squad of dark guards were carrying on their backs. The team would have to stop them from bringing it to the Lord. All the fun is just beginning. All that remains is to wish you good luck in coping with all the darkness. Khan thought that it was worth dealing with one attack using a sword. It didn't all turn out smoothly. The statue has a shield that has the same power as a sword in its nature. The statue is not as simple as it seemed at first. The hero began to worry about the others. In parallel with the hero, Kinney also greatly underestimated the military qualities of the statue, for which he was hit in the chest and flew into the wall. Kinney understands that each of these bastards is of a level to match the boss. While everyone is worried about losing, Charlie talks about how the hat doesn't suit him, so he hates it when he uses it. For forcing the enemy to put on Charlie's hat, the statue will have to pay with his life. But the guy was a little hasty when dealing with magicians. Close combat is the standard. Only if the opponent is an ordinary wizard. Khan is greatly surprised. After having faced only weak opponents, the sight of these people stirs his blood. The hero can only avoid making a mistake in such an amazing team. The hero activated the skill of secretly walking in the shadows, finding himself in the back of the statue. Khan is the first to defeat at least one opponent, but no one should relax. The second enemy eliminated is another statue, which died from Kinney's depth charge skill. Charlie deals with his opponent in the same way, delivering a crushing blow to the head. Only now all the statues were left without heads and fled. Now the resurrection of the Lord has become impossible. The team was about to finish their test, when suddenly the players heard a strange sound. The statue, which was located at the entrance, came to life and went to its lord. No one could have predicted the outcome of the incident. There was no point in running after him. He was quite close to the Lord. Due to his stubborn character, Khan could not accept defeat. So with the last of his strength, he managed to destroy his head in the air. The horseman turned out to be smart enough. He picked up the crown, put it on himself, and gave his head to the Lord. But the team no longer has time to do anything. Their special task is to eliminate the ruler who devours darkness. Any damage is cancelled by the power of immunity. Challengers whose stats are higher than the overlords will be able to inflict damage. Han had never heard of monsters being able to use any kind of power. If the application itself is impossible, then the team will be able to do absolutely nothing. So many problems fell on Khan's head at once due to the fact that the team was unable to complete the mission as expected. The team finally decides to come up with a plan, but first they have to deal with the Overlord's guards. However, the hero asked the guys to distract the boss for a while he did something. Kinney did not quite understand the task. They cannot inflict any damage on the Lord, so it is more effective to clear the guards first. But no, Khan sticks to his plan. He came up with an idea thanks to which the team will be able to defeat the ruler. Kinney trusted the hero. While Khan carries out his plan, he and Charlie will distract the boss of darkness. To begin with, Khan warned the statues that they should play around a little. Kinney tried to damage the Lord, but nothing worked. The tower said that everyone should show respect to the Lord. Any action that does not satisfy the requirement will be blocked. Charlie helped his friend. He activated the magic resistance skill, and the body block was partially lifted. When Charlie activated his skill, the Lord did not stand idle, directing all his power in his direction. Kinney jumped out, taking the entire blow upon himself. Khan moved away from his plan for a moment and saved the guys from inevitable death. The hero dealt with all the statues and began absorbing souls in front of the ruler himself. All statistics sharply increased by 10%. The counterattack shield skill instantly released all the accumulated damage towards the enemy. In addition, using his sword, the hero successfully pierces the enemy. The numbness that happened to Kinney spread to the hero, and the blow was blocked. Khan activated the magic resistance skill, and all body blockages completely disappeared. The situation is not only tense, it is extremely dangerous, but the hero still manages to laugh somehow. The hero thought about this. His laughter may be due to the anticipation of the approaching victory. While the hero is trying to inflict at least something on the Lord, the guys discuss Khan that they have never seen such a ferocious monster. For Kinney, it's a rather strange feeling. He never thought that he would be looking at someone's back. But the team is happy. The hero should be congratulated, because from now on it is Khan who takes first place in the ranking. Khan is holding back his shield with all his might, and finally the charging is complete and the skill has reached the maximum damage absorption limit. The hero reduced the area of effect of the sword and increased the energy density. The final jerk was a crushing blow that tore the ruler's head off his shoulders. The administrator watches Khan with admiration all the time. She still does not believe that he is her contractor. Regular tower climbing aspirants carefully prepare to play it safe and climb the tower one floor at a time after spending a lot of time training tirelessly. But Khan is an exception. He is a valuable talent that is not easy to see in other dimensions. The administrator can even say that the hero is like the personification of the desire to grow. The problem is that over time, other administrators will also begin to become more and more interested in Khan. Therefore, the girl decided to establish a closer relationship with the hero before other administrators did. The The challenge tower singled out Khan for making a major contribution to a special task. Charlie still cannot understand how the hero managed to pull this off. Khan had a skill that was perfect for the situation, and then the hero was just lucky. Keeney told the hero that the hero was very surprised, so he suggested talking in more detail in a personal chat, adding each other as friends. Upon arriving at the waiting room, Han noticed a dimensional travel category in the store that had become available. Also, the area of observation of the administrator, the measurement of the Earth, has expanded, which means that now communication with the administrator is carried out even in the waiting room. Additional contact with the administrator and transfer to his personal possessions have become available. However, additional contact can only be concluded once. From the 10th floor, Khan received a skill enhancement potion B+, which he immediately drank. The next step was for the hero to absorb the spirit of the Lord, who devours darkness in order to permanently increase his stats. Now Khan can manipulate mana like someone who has innate talent, but there is no point in just standing there and watching. Suddenly, the hero noticed how almost all the administrators suddenly began to invite him to their domain. Khan traveled to the world of Steel Blood to understand everything. The girl apparently came out after a shower. She was so happy with the choice of the hero that she could not stop laughing. It turned out that the girl was just arguing, which is why so many requests came in at once, but she received a lot of goodies. The hero asked about the management of mana, which he received completely by accident, whether the girl knew anything or not. The administrator explained that the hero had gained a very powerful skill. She recommended that the hero use his newly acquired mana manipulation skill to maximize the magical power in his body. The magic control skill was activated and greatly affected the magic chain in the body, and the magic chain skill itself was forcibly increased with the help of the mana control skill. Khan immediately wanted to test his strength, but only the hero hit the ground so hard that his administrator's robe fell off. The girl said that the expansion is not limited to the intervention area. The real goal is to make sure that the administrator can seriously return applicants. The girl showed by example what this means. She transferred her strength, which was engraved on her soul. Khan doesn't understand why he became her contender when there are players 1,000 times better than him around. The girl sees a huge opportunity in Khan, so she clings to him. Administrators are rewarded by developing applicants, but this is by no means the end goal. Everyone invests in one candidate or another in order to fulfill a long-standing desire. Due to the large flow of notifications about the hero's invitation to her, the administrators, the girl decided to finish her story. Khan has safely moved to the administrator in a bamboo grove, where the clearing looks ideal for training. The hero has activated and tried out all his new skills, but the sword cannot be activated using mana control. Han thought that the White Crane sword administrator would be an old man like Lin, but in front of him he saw a stunning girl. The girl always watched the hero from this place, from the moment the hero entered into a life-or-death battle with Lin on the 9th floor until now. There was no need for the administrator to escalate the situation. Lin was a good candidate for her to get points. During her life, the girl managed to sign contracts with many applicants, but until now, she has never invited anyone to her domain. That was all until the girl saw the hero thanks to Lin. The girl did not rant for a long time but said everything straight. She wants Khan to sign an additional contract with her. If Khan signs a contract with the White Crane, then she will be able to make the hero the apostle of the administrator, that is her. In the tower, the term apostle refers to an applicant who enters into a special contractual relationship with an administrator. Only aspirants who become apostles can acquire full administrator powers. In the Tower of Tests, it is said that the additional contract is a contract that can be broken at any time. The hero does not understand why it is offered to him. The girl chose Khan because she wants to fulfill her long-standing desire. She needs the best sword in the world, which will never break or become dull. The crane saw that the hero had the potential to be sharper than any sword. The hero remembered that the administrator of the Steel Blood also spoke about a long-standing desire, but the hero does not understand what it actually means. The girl said that the administrator's long-standing desire is memories that come from regrets of the past. Similar to tower challenges, long-standing wish is also a type of challenge that an administrator can give to applicants who have been signed to a contract. If you suddenly manage to fulfill a long-standing desire, then it will be possible to change the events of the past. Then Khan decided to ask one single question: how high he must rise in the Tower of Trials for his wish to come true. The girl thought so and said that this should be the last floor of the tower. Khan finally made up his mind and signed a contract, which the girl is extremely happy about. Unexpectedly, the girl asked if the Steel Blood administrator had talked about a creature that was looking for a hero, but this was the first time Han had heard about it. Both girls believe in the hero and his powers, but they decided to say it anyway. Just for this information, all the tickets will be used up. The hero doesn't use them anyway, so he won't lose anything. In the Murim dimension, there is a huge force called the Murim Union. The hero killed Lin on the 9th floor, a player who held an important position as a commander in this alliance. Because of his high position, there are people from the Murim dimension who are looking for the hero. To be more precise, Hana is looking for the celestial sword, the dragon Hamel. This is a creature from the Murim dimension who is obsessed with martial arts. He is looking for a hero, using the word revenge as an excuse, but in reality he is simply driven by curiosity. The administrator does not know when this will happen, but if the hero meets him face to face, he must be ready to risk his life. Returning to the waiting room, the hero thought for a long time about this psychopathic killer from another dimension. Khan has no choice but to level up like crazy before he meets Hamel. The hero returned to Earth when he picked up the phone. He was afraid of missed calls from Sendi. She wrote to urgently come to the Hunters Association when the hero gets in touch. It turned out that the girl was very worried about the hero, that he would go to Japan alone, where the incident happened. But the guy did not hesitate and simply turned on the video from cameras in Japan. Sensing a strong wave of gate generation, the Japan Hunters Association formed a response team and sent 7 A-rank hunters to the scene. The man who appeared from the portal shockingly killed 6 A-rank hunters in just a few seconds. It is assumed that this was the first time an invasion of the earthly dimension by an applicant from another world had occurred. Then it dawned on the hero who he was talking about. A second video from the body camera of the last survivor was also preserved. The psychopath introduced himself and announced that he had come to this dimension to seek revenge on Lin's death. The girl was afraid of the hero's appearance, that he did not want to go to battle, so she offered to have lunch after a long time. Khan apologized and said he would answer Japan's call and go to that same area in Tokyo. Sandy yelled at the hero. She doesn't understand why Khan always acts so recklessly. He should at least be able to think a little about the feelings of other people. Khan apologized again and said that this is a problem that he must certainly resolve. When Hamel was a 13-year-old child, Lin noticed his achievements and potential. The teacher told Hamel that martial arts are not meant to harm people. Martial arts are the path to excellence. At the age of 17, as expected, a terrible thing happened. Hamel got a taste for it, and for him there was nothing more fun than killing people. The psychopath is no longer satisfied with the death of idiots, and in Murim he will not be able to kill whenever he pleases. So he decided that Han could relieve the killer's boredom. Khan arrived at the Hunters, where he saw Charlie, who had no doubt about the meeting after the 10th floor, and Kinney thought that the hero would come much earlier than them. While Khan was wishing for the rest of the good candidates, suddenly Katrin, the girl of fire, arrived. The girl wanted to meet in a more normal environment, but Khan indignantly said that they had already met long ago in a place far from a normal environment. Katrin agreed, but said that the hero could have been more gentle. Kinney does not understand what is happening. He became lost in thought and thought that he saw a love quarrel in front of him. Charlie was already on fire at Kinney's words, but Khan sharply replied that no, in no case is there any love. Catherine grumbled again. No, to answer without words in any case. All proceedings were interrupted by the president of the Japanese Hunters Association, Aaron. Khan was very surprised by her appearance when she met the hero at the airport. The hero thought that in front of him was a staff member of the association. Aaron is truly grateful that only 4 powerful hunters came to the rescue. Katrin was very surprised by the sweetness of the hero, when outwardly he looks far from emotionless. But Catherine's impression of the hero was dispelled when Khan asked to double the promised reward. Khan is not there to act as a hero or show humanity. He is only interested in the reward and growth that he will receive by killing Hamel. The team of players has a fairly good chance of winning, because they have Katrin. The girl has the power of fire suppression. If she can touch an opponent stronger than herself with her flames, then all of the opponent's stats will drop by 10, and some of the skills will be randomly sealed. From the latest news, it became known that the Chinese hunter met with Hamel, after which they simply stood. Hamel does not understand why the player he is really waiting for does not come, but various insects appear. The hunter did not hesitate for long, and with the help of a jerk, struck the enemy. Hamel was delighted with his opponent's fist technique. It was already more interesting than the technique of previous opponents. The team certainly didn't expect the Chinese to go to extremes to attack alone. Khan came up with an excellent plan that is worth implementing with Katrin. While jumping to the ground, the girl will need to activate her power of immunity to all damage. Khan grabbed the girl and asked for forgiveness that it was time for them to go down, but Katrin definitely didn't expect this, which is why she couldn't even utter a word. Charlie still looks at the hero with surprise that he is ready to go out of his way to do everything himself. But Keeney said that they can't just watch and went after them. Hamel suspects nothing and laughs at the Chinese's fist-fighting technique. At that moment, Khan landed and slammed Hamel into the asphalt, after which he exhaled and said that falling from the sky is something that can be repeated twice. Hamel asked the hero who he was. Khan laughed and said that the enemy was looking for him so desperately, and having met face to face, he did not know who was in front of him. From Khan's blow, the enemy's arms swelled, but he did not feel pain. Hamel could not wait to find out who Khan really was, and when he saw the hero on the willow, he called him a bastard who used the fake art of released key sword energy. Khan sped up and decided to launch a preemptive strike while the enemy had no weapons in his hands. But Hamel managed to take the sword. The hero thought that he had done enough damage from the air, but everything did not go according to plan. In addition, the shield broke after just one hit. In this situation, the reflective ability of the shield will be extremely difficult to use. The psychopath thought that the hero was really so absurdly weak, but all this was saddled so that Catherine would strike her blow. Even after the girl's mighty strength, Hamel was able to repel her attack. It has long been said that even with the instinct of a hunter who has gone through many life-and-death battles, this attack cannot be blocked, but Hamel somehow managed to. Through an invisible connection, the administrator contacted the hero and gave him a gift, mana. Khan began to feel as if there was a girl inside him, a white crane sword. Now the hero will be able to apply this ability to the sword, however. After leaving the girl's abode, the hero will need to train and wait some time. The hero himself was convinced of this. He had never felt such ideal released ki energy. Catherine was amazed by Khan's strength. He instantly struck a slashing blow and neutralized that incredibly powerful attack. She realized that they both had become monsters. From such resistance, the psychopath's eyes lit up. He waited for a very long time for a push from the hero. The enemy has believed since childhood that the more complex the sandcastle is made, the more fun it is to destroy it. Although all the applicants from other worlds were irritable, this bastard is a real psychopath, Khan believes. The hero asked his team to wait for the hero in a safer place. If the hero once again had to protect them, he would lose all concentration. Keeney did not mind and agreed that in the last test, in this one, he could not help the hero in any way. But when Keeney sees the opportunity and is confident of success, he will give the go-ahead for the fireworks operation. In the area, due to the players' struggle, real chaos began to occur. Then Charlie understood why the hero asked them to leave. Catherine believes in Khan and sees that their battle is taking place on equal terms. Keeney thinks differently. He sees something else. He has the feeling that the hero seems to be one step behind the enemy. At this rate, the hero would sooner or later miss the attack. Han thought that he would be able to resist Hamel if his skills in mastering chi energy improved. The hero assumed that his administrator's sword was A rank, but all sword skills were C rank. In turn, a psychopath, even without taking into account his skills, is monstrously strong. Khan used too much stamina to recover, which is why he was exhausted. If he spent even more stamina, it would affect the battle. Catherine came to the rescue in such a situation. She threw the hero a potion to restore stamina. Before Khan had time to hold the potion, the psychopath knocked it out of his hands and drank it himself. Charlie is completely angry. He said that it was necessary to mix the poison. Hamel only makes him happy. It gives him pleasure to see the despair on the hero's face. Although the psychopath has an advantage over the hero, he still does not like to see the glimmer of hope in his eyes. Khan is on the verge of defeat. The enemy does not understand why the hero continues to nag him with his gaze. Out of anger, Hamel dealt a terrifying blow to the eyes, blinding the hero. The hero realized that endurance, which is the fuel for recovery, had also reached its limit, and if he managed to gather all his strength, he would only be able to attack once. But Khan sees absolutely nothing, so even attacking just once won't work. The hero's team saw everything perfectly and ran to help. Khan cannot allow this, because if they get close, they will die a miserable death. With the last of his strength, Khan asks his friends not to come closer. Hamel now understands why the hero fights so desperately to the end and cannot give up. All this is connected because of his friends. Catherine did not have time to reach the hero when the psychopath suddenly appeared behind him and delivered a cutting blow. Keeney tried to resist the enemy and protect the girl, but he too turned out to be weak. Hamel is pleased with the hero's tearful face that he cannot do anything. Charlie came to the rescue. He activated the ice shackles, freezing the enemy's hand, after which he took Catherine and ran away to a protected place. Catherine needs the help of a healer, so Charlie threw her as far away as possible. This is the most that a guy can do. The guy didn't have time to activate the cover. The psychopath caught up with him and grabbed him. Khan understands that everything that happened was 7 years ago, when he could not protect anyone, and this only makes it more painful. Recognizing the battle as a disaster, tens of thousands of rats ran to the surface to survive. And so the hero reproduced the only attack he had left, restored his stamina, using all his souls. The psychopath tore off Keeney's hand. He does not see any measure. He likes to watch the hero's reaction because it only amuses Hamel. While the enemy was rejoicing, the Chinese player made a dash and attacked. All of Hamel's statistics dropped because Katrin gave her skill to the Chinese. The weakened enemy had no choice but to call for a battle of the strongest. The duel zone is formed within a radius of 30 meters through a unique characteristic. With the exception of Khan and Hamel, everyone else is prohibited from entering the duel zone. Since the psychopath had fencing sealed, he decided to use the fist technique. The enemy was so confident in himself that he thought that Khan would not be able to do anything in this case. But Khan seemed to be filled with energy. His spiritual eye was activated, a skill thanks to which he sees everything that is in his field of vision. But now the hero sees not only the wall, which stretches within a radius of 30 meters. The hero feels every pebble in this area. Having lost his sight, Khan saw something more. Until now, the hero had never used the spiritual eye correctly. It felt like the hero's third eye opened. Khan realized the true essence of the spiritual eye, and absolutely all the hero's skills increased to rank B. Now the hero will be able to fight on equal terms with a weakened psychopath. Hamel found himself at such a loss for the first time. He does not understand why the hero moves better and better with every step. Han activated the secret walk skill, stepping into the shadowed area at an increased speed of 30%. In addition, the hero uses the grace of the wind, doubling his speed to 100%. Never before has a hero been so strong, and now the opponents meet each other face to face. Even with everything that the hero has in his arsenal, he only manages to barely get close to the line of combat on equal terms. Han's stamina will soon reach 0, and Hamel's reduced abilities will return to their previous state in 10 minutes. The only thing that can turn the tide of close combat is a sudden change. Hamel laughs at such an act because he thought that he could drive the hero into a corner. The enemy's fist technique malfunctioned and he missed. Dodging the blow, Khan activated his steel sword skill. The sword passed through the entire body of the enemy. He definitely did not expect this. Han hit the core of key energy. Now the enemy must act faster if he wants to fully recover later. The flame suppression force had ended, so the duel zone within a 30-meter radius was unlocked, and it became possible for all players to intervene. Hamel's confidence plummeted. He changed his mind and wanted to finish this battle next time. The team saw perfectly well that Hamel took out the portal stone to go to his Murami world. At that moment, everyone instinctively felt that if it was not possible to kill Hamel right here and now, then one day he would become a real disaster for the earthly dimension. The team united and ran after the opponents, not allowing him to leave so calmly. Hamel was angry that he was considered a coward and a fugitive, so with the last of his strength he used a flaming sword. Khan saved all his friends in time. His contractor's shield skill was disabled, making it impossible to reflect the accumulated damage. The hero took the full blow and lost his arm. But this is not the time for pity. At the moment, everyone needs to prevent Hamel from leaving. Hamel began boasting that he could supposedly kill the hero from the very beginning with one blow, so he asked for sure whether the hero really wanted the psychopath to reach the very end. Khan is terribly angry at his enemy's words, but he cannot say anything in response. Hamel returned to his dimension and promised himself that he would bring the hero to despair. Sometime later, Khan woke up in a hospital near Tokyo, but he was not yet allowed to make sudden movements. The president said that the hero had suffered greatly, but could not say anything more in response to such a huge sacrifice. The hero silently activated the Ashen Blood skill, after which he said that he was completely fine. Khan immediately ran to look for all the other guys. First of all, he went to Katrin and saw something that he definitely did not expect. In the corridor, Charlie on crutches greeted the hero with joy, but did not understand what happened to Khan's face. The hero said that he supposedly looked at Katrina, saw that she was full of energy, drew conclusions, and left. Charlie said that he saw Keen only fleetingly in the morning. The guy was very sad and depressed because he had lost his hand. Keeney is glad that Khan found him, called the hero a ghost of the sword, that he was able to restore his arm. Khan is incredibly sorry that Keeney's hand could not be saved. If the hero had been a little stronger, then perhaps such consequences would not have happened. Keeney reassured the hero. Fortunately, he has a skill, so this disadvantage does not particularly interfere with his activities. The hero admitted that he climbed the Tower of Challenges like crazy, just for his own growth. Keeney said that this is not so bad, because just this thought makes the hero much stronger. But the strong must always help the weak. At least this is Keeney's life credo. The hero also realized a lot in this battle. It turns out he forgot something very important. Nevertheless, Keen can be calm in one thing, that although the hero is strong, at the same time he is not a psychopath who abuses his power. When Kinney first met the hero at the trial, he had no idea what was on Han's mind. Kinney started smoking and Khan was the first to see him without a mask. Then the guy remembered that he had forgotten to introduce himself. After all the interviews and photo sessions, the hero acquired a new tailcoat and pieces of equipment. These 3 days on Earth were filled with endless chaos for the hero. He certainly did not want to become so famous. What the hero definitely didn't expect was that Kinney would turn out to be the Lightning Emperor. Even among the 30 S-rank hunters, he was rightfully considered the strongest. The guy defended the portals with such speed that other hunters could not even dream of. He was a real hero of Korea. Kinney told the hero that if he needed help in the future, Khan could call him at any time. The guy was not averse to recruiting himself. The hero's time is up, and it's time to become stronger again. Therefore, the hero is sent back to the Tower of Trials. Khan returned to the waiting room on the 11th floor, having learned some lessons from his fight with Hamel. To be more precise, this is stamina, which quickly ran out for the hero, as well as Ashen Blood, a skill that boasts superior effectiveness among all of Khan's skills. It's time for the hero to acquire a new skill that will allow him to instantly restore stamina. Han managed to synthesize the B-rank Bloodseeker skill. All the blood that flows out of the user's body will automatically be restored little by little at regular intervals. It turns out that now the hero will be able to extract his life reserve, stamina, and mana from blood. In addition, this means that Khan can control blood. So it is, the hero can now control blood in the literal sense of the word. Afterwards, Khan decided to improve the Eye of Truth, and the result was something unrealistic, the Fire Dragon Eye skill. And finally, a flaming sword, with which Hamel was able to destroy an entire region. It turns out that only those who are worthy of the Flame Sword stage can awaken the true ability of the Bloody Sky Demonic Blade. After all the new products he received, the hero did not hesitate and went to the 11th floor. At the entrance, the hero was greeted and asked to stop at the temple for verification. From now on, Khan will not go through the tests given by God, and these tests will continue until his death. The guy doesn't understand at all how the wind blew such a stupid, in his opinion, adventurer into the temple. But still, he began to explain that the body comes first, and at the very end, the test of mentality comes. In each test room, a high priest will be waiting. The hero will have to either convince or kill to advance to the next room. The guy started by checking the body. The hero sharply activated his Bloodseeker skill. Khan killed the guy with a direct blow and absorbed his soul. Many administrators were amazed at the hero's equanimity. The hero picked up an object from the guy. This is a mirror that the high priest daily imbued with his divinity. Khan thought about it and decided to encourage the user to prove his destiny. In the next room, a girl was waiting for the hero, who did not think that such an adventurer would get to her so quickly. The hero greeted the girl nicely, but she threw a chair at him. If she started using force, then there will be a body check here too. The girl has Ki energy, which the hero himself once used. Han did not hesitate and activated the Ki Master Sword power, then activated the Ki Lightning Sword skill. The girl did not expect such an outcome that an ordinary adventurer took possession of a complete aura. Khan doesn't understand the girl at all. If she is able to use such power, then what is stopping her from doing the same? The girl explained that she was just a little surprised that such a guy, who does not have a single hint of divine power, owns such a powerful fencing technique. The priestess jumped up and the hero thought that this must be a fatal blow, because divine power always reaches its target. According to the first priest, in order to break through the gate, it is not necessary to kill a sacred servant. The girl herself does not know the answer, and said that most likely it will become impossible if the hero acts as if he is in no way inferior to God. Khan only asked how many gates would remain after the girl, but this angered her that the hero was too arrogant, as if he considered the battle a victory in his favor. The priestess replied that the hero should ask such questions only after defeating her. The hero activated instant acceleration and pressed the girl against the wall, saying that he had won. The priestess does not understand at all when Khan managed to grab her. The girl, in complete confusion, asked that the hero was really going to take her by force or something like that. The hero's administrators, narrowing their eyes, began to wait in embarrassment for an answer. But Khan is not interested in vile things. The girl believes the hero, so she decided to tell him. There are only 2 body checks left, after which the test of faith will begin at the 5th gate and end at the 6th. But besides this, the girl warned the hero that before challenging the 7th gate, she would advise him to think about giving up once. It turns out that no one has ever been able to pass through the 7th gate. Everyone who entered there went crazy or died in agony, bleeding. Khan asked the girl that if there was a way to pass the gate without killing her, then let him tell the hero everything about the seventh room. But the priestess is not the least bit afraid of death. In any case, even if she dies, she will only end up next to God. The hero made a decision for himself. The longer he delayed this, the more disgusting he would feel. For the first time, Khan without any mood absorbed someone's soul because he did not want to kill the girl. In the next third room, the hero was met by Rasul, the one who, in his opinion, would become the sword for testing. From now on, he is going to test the hero's martial arts. The hero must prove it, and only then will he pass through the next gate. Although Rasul has an unstable aura blade stage, it is clearly a flaming sword. Already on the third test, the hero deals with a flaming sword. Now the hero will have to risk his life. But there is a problem that the power of Rasul's sword is inferior to the power of the hero himself. No matter how much Khan attacks, only his ki energy suffers. Rasul told Khan that no matter how hard he tried, he would not be able to break the sword. Only those who are able to cope with what is invisible to the eye can break it. Although the opponent is weak, he still wields the sword. It is similar to when someone who studies worse passes exams with better results. Khan promised to break the enemy's sword at any cost, which happened. The hero learned the real difference, the principle of activating the flaming sword. It is willpower dense enough to be expressed in real physical strength. Rasul said that it was not at all the imperfect flaming sword borrowed from the god of testing, but the real one, so the hero passed the test. The hero was surprised that the Reaper was more interested in the achievements of others than in his own death. The fact that the hero knew the whole essence at once makes Rasul's heart tremble with bliss. Khan did everything very quickly so that his opponent did not feel any pain and then continued on his way. The necromancy skill brought the ability to extract the enemy's power. It is only a B rank, and such huge possibilities have already been revealed. Khan's statistics had already approached 3-digit numbers. When the hero was studying, wanting to become a hunter, he considered it something unattainable. In the next room, the hero did not notice anyone, which seemed very strange. But hovering over the hero was like an angel who was surprised that Rasul had left this mortal world. Most administrators asked the hero to be very careful, because in front of him is a real opponent who uses real skills in mastering the released ki energy. The enemy noticed that Khan did not really want to waste time talking, so he decided to immediately begin the test. The enemy's name is Karen, an apostle candidate serving the god of testing. Khan himself was convinced that the enemy had a huge power of energy that could not be compared with what the previous ones had. These rays reflected in the mirrors greatly irritate the hero. The hero must attack Chiron before he starts endlessly attacking with his beams. Compared to the last room, the hero actually began to feel the flaming sword. Chiron attacks with a beam from a distance, and in close combat uses his wings to disrupt his senses of balance. Then he launches a counterattack with a flaming sword. But despite the short-sightedness of the scheme, it will also be quite difficult to figure out the mirrors hastily. After all, having broken into smaller fragments, the mirrors will split that beam even more, so it will be simply impossible to evade. The administrators are not worried about the hero, which means Khan will be able to easily defeat the annoying fly. Karen launched the most powerful beam of rays at the pieces of mirrors, but Khan activated the contractor's shield skill and reached the maximum damage absorption limit. All the damage released went through Karen's bodies. Karen does not understand such devilry because the hero showed no signs of learning magic. Khan did not flee from the battlefield and did not lose the battle. In accordance with the law of verification, Chiron announced that all physical verifications were completed successfully. After absorbing his soul, the hero released the enemy's power, the divine power of C+. We are talking about the power that the local priestesses used like mana. Khan feels like some kind of energy has penetrated his heart, but it doesn't circulate at all. The administrators do not understand why divine power has penetrated into the core of ki energy, which means that possessing such power is something extremely significant. In the next room, the hero was met by a little grandfather, who asked if this was the hero who was overwhelmed by the madness of martial arts. The hero did not quite understand the meaning, but his grandfather explained to him that victory after victory is not the goal of growing endlessly in order to become the strongest. Khan agrees with this that he wanted to become stronger, but it's as if his grandfather is greatly exaggerating. The enemy suddenly appeared behind Khan and said that no, he was not exaggerating at all, having read the hero's thoughts. Khan turned around and wanted to strike, but the enemy asked him to stop getting excited, because these gates do not check his body. Little by little, Khan began to go crazy, as if the enemy had penetrated the hero's mind. The strength left the hero's body, and he saw his inner world. The old man said that Khan had successfully passed the test and could move on, but the hero did not understand how this could be so. Initially, The fifth gate begins with the contemplation of mental images. Those who have an unshakable will have the right to look into their own world of images. The old man felt this unshakable will in the hero, the will to cut anyone's throat in order to become stronger. The enemy feels the hero's desire to kill anyone and become even stronger. All these feelings are hidden in the depths of consciousness. The old man said that if the hero wants to kill him, then let him do so. Fortunately, he will be able to find himself in the arms of God. But the hero said that he will not kill him. The enemy has already said that the test has been passed, so the hero sees no point in killing a person without any reason. The enemy praised the hero and wished him good luck in passing all stages of the test. In the next room, the surface of the mirror was swallowed up by darkness, and soon the hero found himself in emptiness, where there was not a glimmer of light. As expected, the hero again found himself in the world of mental images, meeting a girl behind him. The Reaper planted a seed from the last test so that the hero could penetrate the world of mental images. The girl asked the hero not to worry too much. She promised to take good care of his physical shell. Her words only make Khan feel worse. The priestess once again does not understand why people are so cruel, due to the fact that the hero rudely answered about the girl to himself. If the girl wants, then the hero's neck will be perforated in an instant. Khan only asked how he should pass the test of his faith. The space in which the hero is located is a world of mental images. Here he just needs to be able to see his own world. The world of a person's mental images largely depends on his beliefs, and it is created on their basis, but no one is able to contemplate the spectacle. Thus, the hero needs to be able to see the essence of this world of mental images, where there is nothing. Priestess Eileen, serving the god of testing, announced the beginning of the sixth test. The hero immediately began to drown, without having time to realize anything. Eileen asked the hero if he was very surprised, because the pain would be similar to the real one, and he would have to find a solution to this problem. Otherwise, the hero will drown without any water around. Han interrupted Eileen's speech and activated the Serene Mind skill. While the hero is not prone to panic, he can consciously hold his breath underwater. It is much more important that for a moment the hero felt a tingling sensation in his fingertips. The hero's willpower really impressed the priestess. She never expected that the hero would not only break out of the shackles of mental images, but also be able to move his body. Eileen understands that the hero is able to protect himself even on an unconscious level. She is shocked what kind of monster this Khan is. She decided to keep it a secret that the hero's actions almost left the priestess without a head on her shoulders. Gradually, Khan began to feel his entire body. Eileen lost the meaning of this test, because the hero in reality in the world of images should not feel anything. But in just 2 hours, the hero was able to completely regain control of his body. Khan almost choked on such information, because according to his calculations, no more than a minute had passed since he got here. It turns out that in reality, time moves much faster than in the world of mental images. If Khan spends most of the remaining 7 days in these 6 gates, he may die from the penalty for failing the challenge. The hero felt his body again through the use of the power of a serene mind. This means that the hero will be able to activate this skill, after which he used the Fire Dragon Eye skill. Khan saw what looked like a sea of blood. Eileen is confused because for some reason the world of mental images has opened up. The priestess asked Khan if he was really a man. Otherwise, how could he explain the presence of wings on his back? Han saw his world of mental images, which he saw with the help of the Eye of the Fire Dragon, although he has no idea what this could even mean. But the surrounding environment looks extremely ominous and alarming. The hero asked the priestess if the whole world was really the work of the hero himself, but the girl does not understand what happened to her world. It turns out that the hero was able to pass the test, but he does not understand at all how this is connected with faith. The test of faith is a way of recognizing oneself. The purpose of the test was to confront the world of mental images created through the processes of belief, thinking, and action. Han will overcome his miserable past and become stronger without losing his humanity. That's what Eileen read in the hero's mental image world. But even with such simple desires and thoughts, remaining faithful at the same time is another story. Eileen wished Han luck, the non-human adventurer. The system reported that Khan had reached the 7th gate. The hero saw a certain portal above him, but in fact it turned out to be the eye of the god of verification. Khan's consciousness suddenly lost control, as if someone else was controlling his body. The gaze of the god of verification turned to the pretender Khan, as if he began to feel sleepy. But it's more like a situation where you're faced with something insurmountable. An eye just appeared in front of Khan. Is this really God? Khan doesn't understand anything. Without controlling himself, the hero began to receive various memories that tormented his soul. The hero was tired of standing so helplessly and watching as he was trampled, so he activated the Ashen Blood skill. The hero lives to overcome any trial that befalls him. Khan does not know whether he will be able to destroy this pupil or not, but if there is even a slight chance, the blow will be struck. The god of testing appreciates the hero's spirit and is happy to see such a challenger with such high spiritual power after a long time. The enemy ordered the hero to prove himself, looking into his eyes, after which he announced the beginning of the last test. Suddenly the eye disappeared, and the hero thought that God really existed in reality. In front of him, Khan met the same mirror from the test with Eileen. The system asked the hero to establish contact with himself in the future and begin synchronization. Khan touched the mirror with his fingertip as the mentality test began. The hero will have to go through the most suitable tests to verify. He needs to prove that his beliefs will not change in the future. Khan got to the first test, where he saw that same Reaper. The guy was crying and looking for his mirror, which the hero took. Turning back, the hero was very surprised to see Christmas in South Korea. Below him, the hero noticed himself from the future and stopped understanding anything at all. Khan watched himself to find out what to do next, but what he saw made him wonder what would happen next. The hero never expected that in the future he would cut everyone left and right. Khan's chest is bursting with pain, as if someone is tearing off pieces of his flesh alive. It hurts Khan to feel this disgusting whirlwind of mixed emotions of guilt, madness, and anger. The Reaper from the first test appeared behind the hero and asked if the hero had taken his mirror. Khan again lost control of himself, and the system reported that from now on all his skills and powers would be sealed. During the mental test, where psychological defense is especially important, the power of the serene mind was blocked. Future Khan said that if he had known about this, he would have crossed the line from the very beginning. The hero does not understand what is happening to him in the future, whether he has really become obsessed with power, but he decided for himself that he would never go that far. If Han manages to remove the abnormal key intoxication status, the mastery of the magic chain skill will drop to a maximum of 10%. Suddenly, Khan saw himself in the world of Murim, where he asked the people to call the head of the Murim people. If they call the head, then the hero from the future will save the lives of those who are here in front of him. The head had heard a lot about the hero, who was nicknamed the Ghost of the Sword. But now having seen the hero live, Murametz agrees with this nickname. Khan from the future did not communicate, but proceeded to the usual murder of everyone around him. The head asked the hero if he was ashamed, because he promised not to touch anyone when he himself killed all the members of the Union. Khan replied that he was not at all ashamed, because these crappy non-entities are just his fighting resources, a resource that does not make him tired or sick. After all the words had been said, the hero calmly tore the head of the head from his shoulders. It hurts Khan that seeing all this, he is consumed by thoughts. If the level does not decrease, he will definitely become the same from the past. In the future, Kinney stops the hero by committing such inhumane acts. The hero really expects to remain unpunished. The girl doesn't understand why the hero does this and kills innocent people for no reason in order to become stronger. Khan replied that he kills because all people are raw material for his growth. Kinney can control lightning, so in such weather the hero better get ready to give up the ghost. No matter how much Khan was praised, his chatter brought him to an irreversible point. The girl begged Khan with all her might to finally come to his senses. One wrong move and this crazy entity will be able to absorb the hero. It feels as if this absorption can completely destroy his mind. Before it was too late to fix everything, the hero began to look for a solution. Khan can no longer endure this torment. The psychological shock is too great, and the hero cannot say anything. He does not understand whether it is painful or pleasant. The hero remembered that it all started with a mirror. He activated the effect of the divine mirror of the high priest. At that moment, the hero began to be surrounded by a divine shield, dispelling all levels of mental confusion. Suddenly, Khan from the future felt something pleasant and lost control of his body. Through the future Khan, the real one breaks out, tearing the bad one in half. The hero proved that his beliefs remained unchanged no matter what. Khan passed the mentality test. It turned out that all this time he had been standing in front of the mirror. The god of verification is satisfied with the results of the hero's verification, so he wants to personally meet face to face. God forcibly called the hero to the Holy Land. All administrators associated with monitoring the hero were forced to stop monitoring the tests. Khan entered the sacred abode of the god of testing. That same meeting happened that no one could have predicted. No one had ever been able to see the god of verification. God feels the divine power inside the hero. He asked Khan if he is the administrator, but Khan is just a pretender. God did not look into the Tower of Trials for a long time, but many interesting things happened in it. Being an apostle of a pseudo-deity, he created the real thing. It all sounds like the hero did something great, but in reality he simply accidentally received divine power after killing Karen. The god of verification is shocked by this. that the hero himself extracted divinity and does not know about it. The hero carried out the extraction process, completely removing all traces of God, which means he must know everything. God asked and told everything he wanted. Khan was left with too many questions to which he never knew the answers. Khan never learned what divinity really meant. Finally, God said that the void is always looking for a gap through which it can penetrate the mind. This is what the hero should beware of. Finally, God gave advice to the hero so that he should not trust other gods, because now they will consider the hero an enemy. The system congratulated Khan for overcoming the 11th floor of the test tower. As a reward, the hero received an ancient testing mirror and 70,000 points. Khan thought about God, because he was a being who descended on the hero and told more than everything the hero had heard so far. The hero does not understand why this divine power, the administrators, the assignment to the hero. It is not clear why the tower is doing all this. The only thing that consoles the hero is the fact that even if the gods are hostile, they will not be able to touch the hero while Khan is under the protection of the tower. Sharply, Khan realized that administrators are also a kind of deity and whether they can be trusted. The hero decided to go to the world of Steel Blood to his administrator. The girl was very worried about her subordinate and asked about his well-being, but the hero took out a sword and pointed it towards the girl. In desperation, the hero asked that the administrators also colluded with the tower and were using the hero for unknown reasons. Khan seems to have gone crazy. His thoughts fill his brain about the administrator and the head. What exactly connects them to each other? What the hero says is complete absurdity according to the girl, so the hero should regain his composure. Khan is distraught and finds his brain clearer than ever. The girl screamed with all her might to the hero to convey to him that if he puts all his strength into his blow, something terrible will happen. And so it happened. Khan divided the house into two parts, which the girl is not going to forgive. The hero tried to run away from the girl, but the administrator threw Khan face first into the snow. Khan has finally returned to normal and asks the girl for forgiveness so that she can untie him. The girl agrees that she should untie her subordinate, but she is worried that by the next visit of the hero, there will be nothing left of her house. The administrator felt that the remnants of her hero self had not been completely removed and had become embedded in Khan's personality. Even if that entity was greatly distorted, it is still another future hero. In other words, the suspicions against the administrators may not have been completely false. No one is able to read the tower's intentions, a fact that remains the same even if anyone is an administrator. As far as Khan knows, the tower has never revealed its will to a suitor before, so it's even crazier that the tower has special wishes for any one suitor. The guy explained to the girl that the god of verification said that the tower had some kind of plans for the hero. As soon as the administrator heard about the god, she immediately understood where the doubts came from. The girl is glad that the hero liked the tea. It is based on black dragon urine. At that very second, Khan actually didn't want to drink anything. Khan had one last question. The girl had previously said that she had a long-standing desire that she wanted to fulfill. The hero said that the White Crane administrator had already told the hero everything a long time ago, which made the steel-blooded administrator blush with anger. Khan greatly underestimates himself, which results in an over-obsession with height. Therefore, the girl thought that for the sake of growth, she would be able to force the hero to challenge the test associated with a long-standing desire, to which Khan would fly like a moth to a flame. The girl doesn't know what meaning the hero puts into the word giftedness, but soon Khan will understand how much he underestimates himself, because the test on the 12th floor is a fight with himself. Khan began to think about the gift, the God-given qualities, that is, the three main qualities of a hunter: acquiring skills, increasing stats, awakening a unique characteristic. The hero was not destined to be born with one of these qualities. Skills were not acquired, stats were not increased, and a unique characteristic was not manifested. If Khan had anything resembling talent, he would already be a renowned hunter, even without entering the tower's territory. After that very incident with Hommel, one of the rewards was a flask that increases skill. Katrin gave away more of hers, and now the hero has 3 whole flasks. The hero went to the 12th floor, the theme of which is overcoming boundaries. Khan will have to kill his clone in 48 hours. The reproduced version of the hero will know all the strategies that Khan will now use, as well as clone all the talents. If the hero has a full-fledged clone in front of him, then this battle is a good opportunity to objectively assess his strength. Han feels as if time has slowed down around him. The hero was not surprised that the clone would use a combination of the steel bloodsword and counterattack shield. But what Han definitely didn't expect was that the clone would be able to transform the counterattack shield into a second steel bloodsword. Although the hero is an original, he has never used the dual sword technique before. When using a modified counterattack shield, an excessive amount of spiritual energy and mana is consumed. Currently, Han's item count is far ahead of his clone, hence the indomitable will skill that Han absorbed has been activated. If a clone maximizes his combat concentration and demonstrates a focus beyond imagination, then he will have a good chance of winning. But the most serious problem is the fencing skill used by the clone. Although it is clearly based on the technique of fencing with dual swords, it is clearly the sword of that same bastard. Khan definitely has no doubt that this is the sword of that same psychopath Hamel. Although the hero has seen this sword in action once, he still clearly remembers every detail. A terrifying skill, like the power of a god, before which Khan's skills turned into nothing. Not skill or strength, but pure art itself. These techniques made the hero truly wonder if they could generally exceed skill, just as Hamel had said. Since Hamel's fencing is not a skill, Khan believed that he could not learn this skill. The hero led his clone into a trap and rejoiced at his victory over himself. But the hero's vision failed, and the clone was somehow magically able to escape. In exactly the same magical way, the clone appeared behind the hero's back and activated his sword skill. The clone struck, but did not understand how the hero managed to survive. The hero entered a state of concentration that exceeded his limit. Side effects could lead to unpredictable psychological reactions, which made the hero simply go berserk. With the help of the recent new blood skill, the hero decided to put an end to this battle. But even after such an attack, the clone regenerated its health. The administrator of the steel blood watches the hero and understands that he does not have the opportunity to help Khan directly, but he also cannot silently watch from the side. The system blocked the girl's messages to prevent messages with recommendations from appearing, and the girl simply sent her contractor a cup of tea. Han is infuriated by not understanding that the confrontation with the shitty version of himself from the future did not end during the previous test. The hero fought for his future self, because he was on the verge of death, and there was not a drop of gratitude in his eyes. The clone, in turn, only provokes the hero, saying that the hero has been training for so long, but even now, having risen to the 12th floor, he is not able to look at himself objectively. The hero wanted to attack the clone out of anger, but he simply put up a barrier. The clone decided to tell the hero that if the hero does not get rid of the habit of relying on skills, he will not be able to use true art. Finally, Khan received a message about receiving tea from his administrator. When consumed, mental strength and immunity increase, and the mind becomes clearer. The hero drank the tea and realized that when the other version of himself fought, he clearly felt a sense of liberation from dependence on skills. Khan's train of thought accelerates and his insane ego awakens again. But finally, the hero himself is able to feel how his thoughts have accelerated. Enlightenment happened in one moment, which seemed to last forever. The hero needs to give up all dependence on the skills he has accumulated so far. The only thing Han needs to do is empty everything and adapt to something new. Khan abandons common sense and eventually clears his mind of stupid stubbornness. From that moment on, the hero decided to change everything 180 degrees. Now the hero is able to use the fencing art of Hamel, who previously suppressed the hero with his power. The highest speed using the grace of the wind and instant acceleration makes its presence felt. As the battle with the clone continues, it becomes easier and easier for Khan to understand what is happening. Now the hero looks at the battle not from the point of view, but from the point of view of technology, and begins to understand the principles of the technology itself. Having realized the principle of the technique, the hero feels the futility of using two swords. And this clone, instead of fully mastering Hamel's fencing art, pays a lot of attention to imitating a psychopath. Practicing Hamel fencing, the hero should focus even more on strengthening the flaming sword. No matter how much the hero attacks, the clone instantly transforms the sword into a shield, avoiding a crisis. Only a second ago, it was about rough and aggressive sword wielding, but now the clone has switched to soft sword wielding with smooth and measured movements. Soft swordsmanship is another swordsmanship technique that Hamel demonstrated. It is not clear how far a clone will go in copying a psychopath. As expected, Khan will not be able to achieve an easy victory without any risk. The hero also decided to follow in the footsteps of his double and activated a counterattack shield, which surprised the clone. The sword of the hero's copy charges much faster. The hero should take a small adventure. The clone parried Khan's attack with the contractor's sword, a modified version of the counterattack shield. Khan also decided to charge the counterattack sword once, and of course it broke under the weight of the ignorant attack. The hero was not taken aback and caught the clone in a trap, after which he struck with his sword using the blood skill. Khan was glad that there was one last blow left before victory, but his clone seemed to have gone crazy and became a monster in the flesh. The hero's reflection chased after him, destroying everything in its path. Khan is confused by the fact that the clone's attack tactics have changed dramatically. Fortunately, the counterattack shield recovery time has expired, and the hero will be able to somehow resist. This bastard monster completely lost his mind and started blowing up his own body. But no matter how strange it may seem, as a surprise attack in close combat, such a technique can be very effective. But due to the fact that the clone has lost his temper and is constantly making explosions, the ashen blood will absorb too much stamina. Therefore, when the clone's stamina reaches 0, the clone's attacks will stop. The counterattack shield skill has reached the maximum damage absorption limit, which means the hero will be able to reflect it into the clone. With a well-aimed blow, Khan hit his clone straight in the face. The counterattack shield skill instantly released the accumulated damage, and the clone was finally defeated. Khan passed the painful 12th floor of the test tower and received the gray crown of the ancient Emperor A. The combat concentration skill was deactivated and would soon rebound, causing Han to vomit blood. Khan is lucky that he has the Ash Blood skill. Without it, he would not have been able to get this far. All sanctions on sending messages were lifted, and the hero found out that the administrator had sent him that tea. Khan is shocked that so many administrators were watching his battle on the 12th floor. Suddenly, Khan noticed administrators who only said what they wanted, and then simply disappeared when they lost interest. The hero is tired of being in a state of not understanding why he is the one, why there is such intense attention to him. Perhaps there is an expanded system that allows administrators to contact the hero with a request. If this is the case, then it seems that as the system expands in the future, administrators not associated with the hero himself will also be able to benefit in some way. But all this seems wrong when everyone simply bombards the hero with messages. If the administrators really need something from the hero, then they should simply send the force as support. Then Khan will certainly remember about them later, when they expand the system. What is really important now is that the enemy has not only the same stats as the hero, but also skills and powers. When absorbing the spirit of one's counterpart, skill increased by 28%. And also an attempt to extract divinity became possible.